Hi, welcome to Curiously.
Factual. I'm Yaya, and we believe that the Last of Us game series is a utter masterpiece.
And I'm Sierra, and we believe that season one of the show was really good. Season two, absolute trash.
Yep. And today we will be going through major plot points and character deaths in both Last of Us games. We will also be discussing the changes made in the show that helped and hurt the story.
Yeah, if you haven't seen or played The Last of Us, a lot of this won't make sense to you. It might, because we're going to be going through some pretty much everything in both games and in the show and comparing the two to each other. But major spoilers up ahead. If you have not
Hmm.
played it, you have not seen it, I highly recommend you go watch it and then come back. Maybe not season two.
Yes,
Don't watch season two, but play the games, watch season one of the show, and then come back and watch us shit all over season two. It'll be a great time.
absolutely. All
So
right. So,
little background for us to just to start. So our friendship was actually built on our enjoyment of The Last of Us. Of course, it went through a lot of other things, but
mhm,
we really started by playing The Last of Us 1 together. Yaya showed me Last of Us 1. We both played The Last of Us 2 as soon as it came out,
yes.
both with each other and separately.
Hmm.
And we watched all of the show together to the point where we would be on FaceTime with each other because we don't live by each other. So we would
No.
be on FaceTime watching every episode as it came out, um, all the way through season two, including all of season two. We did that. So
Ugh, the pain and the anger.
I know, and who knows if we're gonna watch season three together? I don't think we will, to be honest. It's too painful.
I feel like I have to, right, because it's the IP. Um, but it's just
But
I'm
Neil's
just gonna
gone
be
now.
I know. So it's like upsetting. He's gone. He has no creative control. It's gonna be horrible. But at least it's not Ellie's story. I know Abby is like a huge character in the game. It's just like
Well, but they have the end of The Last of Us Part 2 in season 3, which includes some great stuff with Ellie and Dina, but that I have no faith in that at all anymore. So, I mean, we'll get
me
there, but
either.
I know we're gonna watch it. Both of us are gonna watch it. It's whether we watch it together or not and make a big, like, we gotta watch it every Sunday.
Yeah, seriously. You know what sucks too is my friend Melissa that was watching it with us, Melissa mentioned, she had never played the games, and her first initial reaction to The Last of Us was the show. Season one fucking destroyed her. And I'm so sad that her only reaction to season two, game two, is season two. It makes me
Ugh,
fucking ah.
disgusting. Ugh, shout out Melissa though.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're gonna first start off talking about the plots of the first game. And I guess, do you want to do like comparing game one and game two, or sorry, game one and season one back to back like that and going back and forth?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. I think
Yeah.
whatever we bring up, we'll probably go mostly in chronological order of the plot, and we'll start with the game scene and then the show scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so. First off, I kind of want to, when I explain the plots of the first game, I'm going to be telling you my first initial reaction when I was 14. So, fucking 14 years ago, dude. That's so crazy.
Woohoo!
That's
Damn, half your
insane.
life, bro. Half your life.
Seriously. Oh my God. Okay, so starting of the first game, I have to say I didn't play it the first time. I watched the Rad Brad play it because I don't know why. I was just like, man, The Last of Us. I keep hearing about this. Let me check it out. This was in 2013. They had already made the remastered for the PS4, and I was like, why are we starting off as a little girl? I was very confused. I didn't know anything of what was going on. I'm like, oh, this must be the girl from the poster. That's what everyone fucking thinks when they play this game. They're like, oh, this must be the girl from the poster, but she has blonde hair, not red. And I like the setup playing as Sarah in the house. You feel like her. You're walking around, you're learning, you're touching everything, you're picking shit up, you're finding the birthday card, all that. You had the birthday scene between Sarah and Joel, the very, very beginning birthday scene. and you could tell their father-daughter chemistry right off bat. It's really good. Him saying goodnight, baby girl, her waking up, him being gone, and having to go through the start in this fear alone as
Puts
what
you
she
as a
was
little
only.
kid. Yeah, you don't know anything,
Yeah,
just like a little kid. Yeah, it's great.
exactly. And little fun fact, the news reporter, when you go inside of Joel's room, is Laura Bailey herself.
No shit,
She
I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. And obviously you see the explosion on the news and you feel it and you turn and look out and see it. Oh, that was just a few blocks away. And you just, as a kid, you're like, where the fuck is my dad? It's the middle of the night. Shit's exploding. Like, and
I know, but
dogs
can
are,
we take a second? How awful is it that you can only little pace walk through the
I
fucking
would be like, what the
house? It
fuck?
takes like 20 minutes just to get downstairs. I'm like, no,
Dude,
I
yes.
want to run.
Literally, dude. I want to run around. But the thing is she's still so calm, which is crazy to me because, like, I mean, what else do you expect? This is not a world that has gone through something like this before. And I enjoy walking through the house. Like I said, you see little PS3s and shit throughout the house. I think that was very tastefully done. And I don't. Apparently, this happens to more than one person. When you're walking past the sliding glass door, people scare themselves with their own reflection. Happened to me. I am one of those people. Hearing the dog yelp is what kind of gets all that. And then we set in. Joel comes in. He's getting chased by their neighbor. God forbid I forget his name. And he has to shoot him. And Sarah's like, "Why the fuck did you just kill someone?" Like, she's like, "Dude, dad, like, what is going on? You're just a construction worker." Like, and he's like, "There's something going on. We got to go." Tommy shows up, and then boom, you're in the truck. And I think that also was very tastefully done because this whole time you're playing as Sarah up until you're in town trying to run away, seeing people kill
Well,
each other.
until the accident.
Yes, the
The
accident
accident's when
happens,
it
which
switches.
we got to talk about that too, how they changed it in the show. I think that was really good. I guess we kind of can right now. So in the show or in the game, you're hit by a truck and your car gets tipped over. Sarah's leg is like hurt or broken. We're not entirely too sure. But in the series, I think it was so good to fuck with the fans who already know the plane. The plane, I think it wasn't exactly the plane, it was the turbine. It was like the giant
Yeah.
fucking,
Yeah.
yeah, it was the turbine that crashes into the car and knocks him out. They faked us out. They had the scene with the truck. We're like, oh, here it goes. Doesn't happen. And we're like,
Hmm.
what the fuck? Like, I think that was awesome. I think that was so cool. They
It
didn't
was
have to do
visually
that.
stunning. Yeah, it was very good.
Visually stunning. Oh god, bringing the set to life must have been something else.
It,
That's what I
that
gotta
that
say.
was amazing. Yeah, and I mean props to the show too because that entire sequence. First off, I really liked the that Sarah in the show was a different race. I thought that was an interesting touch to it. I
Yes.
think it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I like
Mm-hmm.
that we got a little more time with her, seeing her go and get the watch. I think that
Yes.
giving the initial backstory of how it was transmitted through the bread, through the wheat,
Mm-hmm.
seeing her interact with the neighbors before it actually happens, I thought that was interesting. I do like
Yeah.
in the game how completely unaware you are, but you are playing the character. And so I think you
Mm-hmm.
do have, in the medium of a show, have to add a little bit more of like backstory to it because you can't quite get the same feeling of I don't know what's going on. I'm looking around my house. You're feeling it through them. So I think it was a good trade-off of not knowing anything versus giving a little bit more background, filling in the pieces.
Absolutely. And I want to talk about real fast the old lady neighbor in her wheelchair. When you're looking for, I think it was a movie, and she just randomly starts going like this. And it was like fucking like paranormal. I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
what? It was
Yeah, I was like we're
crazy.
in Hereditary or some shit like that. It was yeah, oh, so good.
That was so good. And the dog didn't fucking like the grandma at all. And I'm so
Hmm.
glad the dog lived. The dog lived in the show.
Dog lived,
Not for long, probably. But
right. But
yeah, seeing the whole
survived that
beginning,
moment.
yeah, absolutely. And seeing the beginning of that whole show, I think was very well done. I think it's something to give the players who know this game like the back of their hand. It gives them more
Hmm.
introspective, everything like that. It gives them more of the story, more of what they
But they
love.
stayed true to it. They stayed true to it too because I
Absolutely.
loved the cinematography of when they were in the car, when they were driving in the car in the
Mhm.
game. You're seeing, you're from her and you turn and you can look around and you can 360 like in the car or in the truck to
Mhm.
see what's going
Mhm.
on around you. They had the same camera shot in the show where you go and even though you're not controlling it, it looks around like that. And I thought that was
Yes.
wonderful. That was such a nice like it puts you
POV.
at ease. It puts you at ease when when a show starts out like that. This is your favorite IP of all time. A show makes you nervous. You don't know what it's coming with, and then they just come in
Mhm.
with uh, a incredible opening scene. And I think the does the first time the theme song comes in, I'm pretty sure that comes in after that entire sequence. Am I right? That comes in after the death or no?
I cannot recall because it they did have the man who composed in the game composed for the show. He did kind of
Yeah,
rewrite the
Gustav,
songs.
whatever his name
Yeah,
is. Yeah.
Gustav. Gustavo. He definitely did compose for the show as well. Very similar sounds, very similar melody, but he did make certain changes so it can continue on in the scene.
I just remember I know in the game at the end of her death it comes up with this The Last of Us, right? That's the entire
Yeah.
intro. I think it was
Yes.
that way in the show too, but I don't exactly remember because there was a little bit more screen time before that, so maybe not. But I just remember because we watched the first episode together, physically together. And I
Yes.
remember when when oh no, because they had the intro where it was talking about cordyceps, and then
Oh,
they
we didn't
had The
even talk
Last of
about
Us.
that.
Yeah, yeah, and then they had The
Yeah.
Last of Us theme, and when The Last of Us theme song came on and we saw it for the first time, we both had chills. We were like, "What the is happening?" We were so
And then
excited.
the way the intro ended to being Joel,
Hmm.
and then I think they didn't add Ellie yet.
Not
I
yet,
think
not
that's what
yet.
not
No.
yet. Yeah, it was just Joel, and he was formed from one of the cordyceps. I have to
So
say
good.
too that that introduction with the scientists talking about global warming can speed up the process of cordyceps mutating that could actually start infecting humans, and it's very realistic. I think
Hmm.
it is very, very realistic because it is true. Things can mutate and become stronger or whatever and infect other beings. And it just sped the process. I think he said it was gonna not be for like another thousands of years or like hundreds of years, but they sped up the process. Us as humans sped up the process.
Yeah, I think that in the first episode, did a fantastic job at, um, part of what makes this game series so great is how grounded it is the grounded mode in the game, is how realistic it is. And with starting
Hmm.
it that way and then having the entire first episode be world building for this world and makes it very grounded. It doesn't start, 20 years later, when everything's already changed. It starts in reality and you can see a normal life more so in the
Yeah.
show than you do in the game, but the game you still feel that transition, right?
Yes.
And they do such a good job in that opening scene where they explain to you what's going on, kind of the science behind it, and they explain it
Hmm.
in our world. They
Hmm.
show you and they just tell you the through line of here's how we're going to get here, right? Here's how
Hmm.
this outbreak happens, and here's how easy it can happen to you. And let's keep in mind, this is all immediately after COVID.
Oh,
Like
yes. Yes.
genius.
Yes, I do actually. I'm glad you said that because I wanted to ask you, how did you feel about the time change? Them skipping 10 years. They decided to do it, the outbreak in like 2003 instead of 2013. What is your opinion on that?
They did the outbreak in 2003 in the show.
In the show.
So does that mean 2023 is the 20-year jump?
Yes.
Okay, so I think that the reason they did that is just because that's when they were putting out the show, and so they wanted it to be
Yeah.
current time with that, and to bring the
Hmm.
audience in even more to make it feel like it's in reality. In the
Yeah.
in the in the game,
Hmm.
Outbreak Day was in 2013.
Yeah, it was.
That's interesting because it came out before 2013, right? Or did it come out in 2013?
It came out in 2012. but the remaster,
Okay,
I
all
believe,
right.
was in
So
2013.
they wanted Outbreak Day to be at the time um of the game release, and for the show
Hmm.
they wanted Outbreak Day to be 20 years in the past of the show release. I think that it makes sense for both why they did that, you know.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah.
I personally like the idea of setting Outbreak Day in the current time period and then jumping forward to a futuristic time. Futuristic, but backwards, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I find that to be interesting because you start from the same starting place, but
Hmm.
I don't mind what the show did either, where it's 2003, 20 years in the past to now.
Yeah.
It's
I
fine by
agree.
me.
I think it wasn't needed, but it just probably drew people in more for
Yeah, it
people
was just
who
a
haven't
tool.
seen it.
It was a tool,
Yeah.
and I don't think it had a big impact either way. But we gotta get going a little bit quicker on this because we're at like what
Yeah.
5 minutes into the game and five like 20 minutes into the show, and we got both to
Seriously.
talk about. So the airplane or the truck, whatever, the accident happens. You play as
Yes.
Joel to take Sarah away and try to and you know you feel a lot of the uncertainty with Joel as well because he doesn't know where to
Hmm.
go, and so you do go, at least for me when I was playing it, you know, you go through all of the dead ends and all that and the
Hmm.
quick movements, like when you go into the diner and someone's coming in and it's like the whole thing and Tommy ends up coming and
Yes.
saving you and stuff. It's great. Um, and the separation from Tommy, I think, was really important too,
Hmm.
at that point. But then, but then the moment that
The
changes
moment
everything, the
comes.
moment that blows my freaking mind, because you showed me The Last of Us and you kept telling me for so long, you gotta watch us play it. You gotta play it. You gotta play it. I wasn't into video
Yeah.
games at the time. Never
Hmm.
had like, you know, I'm playing Mario, I'm playing whatever. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's a video game about zombies. Oh, big whoop,
Yeah.
whatever, right? I
Yeah.
was such a
Yeah.
hater. And then you're like, no, just watch this. And then you play through all of that. We get to Sarah's death scene, and I'm like, what the fuck? I am
You were like,
like,
wait, she's not the chick in the poster?
I was like, wait, is she dead? Like actually dead? Like she really dead? Like what? The game just what? I was like you. There's no you can't describe what that does to you the first time you
No,
see it. It
you
changes
really
your
can't.
view on what games can be, you know,
Hmm.
in
Oh,
a
absolutely.
moment.
In just a moment. And I remember when I was playing the game, I don't know if because when I watched someone play it versus playing it myself, that was a year gap. I
Mhm.
watched someone cried, whatever. It is completely different when you're actually playing it yourself, as you know.
Right.
And I remember watching the video and being like, did I skip something? Why is it 20 years later all of a sudden? Like I was so confused. I was like, why did such a huge jump? It is so ballsy to do that. A 20-year jump after something that was so fucked up and serious. I think it was really uh
It is
it was
because
just
they started it so well, and then if they wanted to, they could coast on that. They could show how like the
the
entire
20 years.
game could right, the entire game could just be the year following that, him grieving and him figuring out how to live in this world. Like that is an interesting time of that adjustment as an adult for that. They chose to skip over all of the adjustment period, most of the grieving period to a point where he has a relatively normal life in this new world, and that is a very, very ballsy choice because the more emotional impact would be you have this big death. How does he deal with it? Right. And we see that,
Exactly.
but 20 years later, it's such a because it worked. It's such a underrated or not really thought about decision, but that's a big
Hmm.
decision at the time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I when we do that 20-year skip, um, showing Tess's day instead of going straight to Joel, absolutely loved that.
Yeah.
Also, them trying to show how much Joel has hardened. Him the last scene that you see is
Yeah.
his
How
daughter
cold he
dying in
is.
his arms,
Right.
and then he's throwing a body of a kid into the fire that just got killed because they were infected. I think
Well,
that was
I agree. We're getting a little to the 20-year jump now. So I think what we do
okay.
now is we
Mhm.
go through. I think we both agree that The scene where Sarah dies is well done, both in the show and in the game. Obviously, Troy Baker voices Joel in the game, and God, what's his name? Pedro Pascal is Joel in the show. I have my opinions on that. I don't think we've seen Sarah's deaths back to back with each other before. So that's what we're
We
going to
have
do
not.
now. I'm going to share the screen.
Hmm.
We're going to watch the game death first, and then we're going to switch over to the show death, and we're going to compare notes on it, see what we think about that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And while you're doing that, I'm just going to put up a fun fact. So basically, in the show versus the game, Troy Baker is in the show, and so is Ashley Johnson, but we're going to get to that eventually. And I think the way they put them both in was very well done. Ashley Johnson way more so, but we're going to bring that up for later on.
I agree. All right, this is the show. Um, hopefully you can hear it. I think I did that right, so if you can't, let me know.
Sure.
It's okay, baby. We're safe. We're safe. Hey, we need help.
Stop!
Please. It's my daughter. I think her leg is broken.
Stop right there!
Okay. We're not sick.
Got a couple of civilians on the outer perimeter. Please advise.
Daddy, what about Uncle Tommy?
We're gonna get you to safety and go back for him, okay?
Sir, there's the little girl. But... Yes, sir.
Listen, buddy, we've just been through hell. Okay, we just need... Shit. Please don't. Oh, no. Sarah. Move your hands, baby. I know, baby, I know. Listen to me, I know this hurts. You're gonna be okay, baby. Stay with me. All right, I'm gonna pick you up. I know, baby, I know it hurts. Come on, baby, please. I know, baby, I know. Sarah.
Ooh.
Baby. Don't do this to me, baby. Don't do this to me, baby. Come on. No. No. No, 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 no. Please. 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 Please don't do this. Please.
Ah,
Title screen.
title screen. Welcome to the game. Oh, how I got chills just watching that again, man. Oh,
Good on you
beautiful.
for putting the original too and not the remake.
I
Appreciate
did.
that.
Yes, of course. All right, let
Uh,
me
and
throw on.
another fun fact, Neil Druckmann made poor Troy Baker record that scene up to around close to 20 times, and he is a method actor. So he even said that he had to dig in certain places to try and bring that up. And he was getting angry with Neil. Like, why are you making me do this so many times? This is physically hurting me. I'm tired. I can't take this anymore. And I don't know if Neil did this on purpose, but because he knows how Troy Baker can act and because he's a method actor, because of where he's at, of how many times he did it, I think that's why. I think he knew that Troy could do it, and he knew that it was going to get to that point.
Right. I agree.
He
Yeah.
exhausted
And
him on purpose.
exactly, he exhausted him so that you got the exasperated desperation that comes through beyond acting. Like it is real, right? So
Yeah,
it's and to be fair to to Neil Druckmann's like credit here, if you don't nail this scene, you don't nail the game.
exactly.
This sets the tone for the game. So if you don't do what
Hmm.
Troy did there, I understand why Neil would want to pick every little moment apart in that scene because if you don't do that right, the entire tone of the game is thrown off.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely.
So, all right. Let's compare that now to the show. All
Ooh,
right.
good pause.
You're safe.
Don't move.
My daughter's hurt. Her ankle.
Stop right there.
Okay. Easy now. We're not sick.
I got 2 civilians by the river. One of them injured. Ankle.
What about Uncle Tommy?
We're gonna get you somewhere safe first. Then we'll go back for him, okay? Okay.
I'm sorry, repeat. Hey, no one told you to move. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We're not sick. Sir. We are not sick!
I'm sorry.
Please, don't. No. No, no, no. Okay. You're okay. You're okay. Move your hand, baby. Move your hand. Oh, I know, baby. I know. I know it hurts. All right. Down. Come on, baby. You're okay. I know, baby. I know. I know this hurts. You're gonna be okay. All right. Baby, listen to me. I gotta get you up, okay? I gotta get you up. All right? You come on. I know, baby. No, I know. Tommy, help me! Joe. Come on, baby girl. I gotta get you up. Come on, get up. Come on, baby girl. Come on.
God damn.
I had to dry my eyes.
Wow. Oh, wow. I forgot how good his acting was in season 1
So
and in that
good.
scene. He did a very, very, very good job.
And the adding of the Tommy, like help
Tommy,
me.
help me. Oh.
Let's talk about
And
the
seeing
soldier
him
for a second.
crying.
Oh, the
And the
soldier saying I'm
actress,
sorry.
to me, I kind of liked the soldier in the game a little bit more because I like that there wasn't this yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. There was a what? Right? Because that shows this fear of him, the soldier. He's
Yeah.
he's probably never, like, let's keep in mind they're on US soil. They're based out of here. To me, the soldier in the game makes more sense because he's probably never gotten an order to kill somebody before.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that hesitation, even though you see it with in the show him saying I'm sorry, to me the soldier comes across a little better in the game with the what, when he and then
Yeah.
he lifts it up. I liked that a little bit more, but the actual, like, Tommy help me, the actress who plays Sarah freaking out, him trying to get her up and stuff, like, incredible.
Incredible. I do have to say I forget about this, but when we were watching the game scene, hearing Sarah's final fucking breath is
Hmm.
so fucked up because you don't hear it in the show, but in the game, if you're wearing headphones while we're listening to our podcast, you can hear her just final raspy exhale. And oh, I just think that hits a little harder. They both equally hit, of course. I think they both bring out that pain
Hmm.
pretty well.
I agree. I agree. So that's the beginning of the game. That's the beginning of the show. The entire first episode of the show, the first like 20 minutes of the game. And then we get introduced to this character. We're 20 years in the future now. Um,
Hmm.
and we get introduced to this character, Tess.
Yes. The Tess. Oh, I love her. May that actor rest in peace, original Tess.
I know.
Um, and just gotta say real quick how the timing was when the show came out. The original actor for Tess, she had cancer, and the day episode 2 came out, where Tess dies, original actor had died that day, and it is insane. She had
I don't
died
think it
that
was
day.
that day.
It was either the day before or the day after, but it was literally that day when it came out. We got to fact check it, but I think I'm right. Just because when I had found that out, I was like, oh my god, I was oh, she's too young. We lost a great one for sure. Um, while you're fact checking that, I can talk about the show versus the game introduction of the 20 years later. So
Yep.
Joel's just wanting to be put to work. He wants to make more money, and he's burning bodies. He's got to work in the sewer to make more money. You see that, and then we cut to a woman we don't know in the show. We're like, who the fuck is this? And she's tied to a chair, getting beat up by some buff 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, talking to this man named Robert. If you are new to the show, if you are not a game player, you're like, what the fuck is going on? Who are these people? For the game players, you're like, right now? Right now? We're bringing in Robert? What the fuck is going on? Thankfully, we get to see the morning of Tess, what happened to her, why she was so beat up. Because in the game, you just wake up as Joel coming from a nightmare. She boosts in, she's taking shots at like 11 in the morning, and he's like icing her brow. You see a hardened man still soft towards this woman that you don't know. And he's like, "Are these assholes still with us?" And she goes, "Now that's funny." But the thing is that was the introduction to Tess in the game. I'm really glad they added the beginning part in the show, just because we can understand what happened to her. Um, and they did add a little bit more of a story, saying that they needed a car battery in the show versus the game. They just needed guns and food. I think that was really, really well done. I think it added more depth to Joel and him, how he wanted to find Tommy. I think that was really cool. I'm glad that they add that already versus him needing to find Tommy after Ellie. But we will get there.
Right. So just to follow up on the fact check, she passed away January 29th, 2023. It occurred exactly 1 week after the release of Last of Us Season 1, Episode 2, which aired July 22nd, 2023. So they dedicated the third episode, long time, Bill and Frank,
Hmm.
to Annie Wershing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So she
Oh
died one
man.
week after her character died in the show.
How fucked up is that, man?
I know.
Uh
It's absolutely crazy. So,
yes.
um, but I mean, we got a long way to cover before we watch the next video here. So they go to meet Marlene, I think, in
It's
both the
Robert
game
first.
and the show.
Robert first, they
Yeah.
accidentally run into Marlene because Robert had tried to, in the show, sell the not even working battery to Marlene because she needed it for a truck to transport Ellie versus guns instead of in the game it was guns. And they're like, she those weren't his to sell. Tess and Marlene and Joel obviously have a history. They know who Marlene is. They know. I like that it's so like casually said. And he goes, "We need to find a firefly." And she goes, "Well, there's your lead firefly right there in the game." I was like, "Oh, okay. There's the leader of the fireflies. That's her introduction." And she's injured. She's really injured. And she's like, "I need your help. Get me back to my place. I need you to deliver something for me. That's it." Boom, we have Ellie. Ellie's like, "Who the fuck are you?" Introduction is like, "Fuck you," like immediately, which is great. And then when they are trying to find Robert in both game and show, You're going through all his goons and whatever. I would say it's more action packed in the game. Of course, they got to keep you interested. They're giving you the tutorial of the game, how to play, put
Right.
your backpack on, flashlight on, load your gun, whatever. Um, I think it is. I think I like Robert better in the show. He is way more of a small coward versus in the game he's just a coward, you know.
Right.
And definitely his death scene, while short-lived, um I liked it. I liked how it looked even back then. I mean, fuck, it looked so real. And Tess didn't give a shit. She said, "Click, click. That's it. You're dead."
You
And
done.
breaking his leg
Yeah.
as he was, ooh,
So
they
good.
did change that. They did change that because Robert was trying to kill them and run away from him. He was already dead when they showed up in the show. He was dead
Right.
from the shootout with the fireflies.
Yeah, I like it better in the game. I like that she kills him.
Hmm. Me too. Me too. I think
But it
it's
does,
Tess.
I think it does give more time in the show to see Ellie and Marlene's interactions with each other.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. And that was really well done as well.
it was, and it planted the seed of I know who you are from Marlene's side, which comes into play later that we don't get in the show. It's a lot
Yeah.
more. It's not even hinted at as much. We have no idea why they're with each other, how long they've been with each other, anything like that
Hmm.
in the game. In the show, we have a little bit more information. We see that the timing between when she gets there and when she hands her off to Joel is not too far apart from each other. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
there's more
Absolutely.
seeds planted in the show, I feel like.
Yeah. And I love that they chose the original actor for Marlene from the show or from the
Hmm.
game into the show. I love that the introduction of Ellie was her being irritated and cussing. I she's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and slowly she goes 1, 2, and then she goes fuck you, like
Yeah, I
instead
know.
of nine.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, that was
Love
so good. And
Ellie.
then Marlene coming in, Ellie obviously knowing who Marlene is, leader of the Fireflies, and she goes, "I don't want to talk to you, terrorist." And she goes, "Was Riley a terrorist?" So immediately a Riley mention.
Immediately, who the hell is
Immediately.
Riley? Right.
Mhm. Mhm.
And none of that happens in the game.
Nope. And I also love too that Ellie's like, "Are you my mom?" And she goes, "What do you think?"
I know, I know. So good.
So good. And I love that basically the next scene over is them kind of crashing into each other. Joel has his gun pulled out on Marlene. Ellie doesn't know who these people are. She's trying to go and get them and stab them, and he immediately throws it to the ground. He doesn't give a shit. He's just like, "Bam!" Like over the shoulder, knife flies, and he puts it under his foot, and he goes, "Don't even fucking try." Like he wasn't hesitating to kill this little girl. I
Not at all.
genuinely, not at all. He didn't know who she was. He didn't know she was infected. He didn't give a shit. He's like, "All right, bet, gun to your head. Let's go." Like, and that right then and there, Marlene asks the favor. They didn't even have to travel over to the Firefly base or whatever. They just said, "Here you go." And I think
Right.
that was good too.
Well, wait, what do you mean? Because they did have to travel out because the whole original ask was not to bring Ellie to um gosh, in the game it was Salt Lake City, right?
It wasn't right
Um
away. So
yeah,
they just
they
said, "I needed you to take her out of
both
the city."
right, both of them the in both the show and the game it was just can you take it to the other Fireflies, which is out
Yeah.
of the city in the capital.
Yes. Yes. And Ellie's like, "You want me to go with him?" And Joel's like, "I don't fucking want her." And they did the same thing in the show. Love that.
Hmm.
I also loved seeing because most of the time in the game, you're seeing Marlene calm the entire time. Her partner next to her was a part of the shootout, was also injured, and she goes, "I can do it, I can do it, I can do it." And she goes, "You don't have a fucking ear on your head," and like she snaps at her, and I was like, "Ooh, okay."
Yeah,
That
no.
it shows just a little inkling, a little droplet of where Marlene can go mentally.
Right. I agree. I find it interesting the little change that they made when they're waiting for Tess to kind of prove because Tess went with Marlene to prove the that the guns were there, right?
Yes, yep, they did
And
it
in
in the
the
show as well.
in the game, there was a pretty big jump in time. Joel takes a nap, Ellie stares out the window. I like how in the show they were sitting in like the hallway. It wasn't a long passage of time, if I
Mhm.
remember right. They were sitting in the hallway. That's when they had their first conversation, Joel and Ellie one-on-one, and it was an awkward conversation. I liked that it was
Mhm.
awkward like that. I liked that they were both kind of
Mhm.
waiting around.
They did
One or
end up
the
in
other
that
was
bedroom.
fine, but
They did
did
end up
they?
in the
So
room.
okay, I
Yeah.
wasn't sure. I just remember very vividly in my mind them waiting in that hallway for Tess.
Yeah, it started off there, and he's like, "Look, we got to get out of here. I know
Got
a
it.
place where we can go that's safe."
I thought it was
And
a
that
nice
is when,
addition.
yeah, and that is when Ellie decodes the radio with Bill and Frank, and she
That's
goes,
right. That's right. The
she
decades.
she tricks Joel saying, yeah, when you were asleep, there was like a song that was like, "Wake me up before you go go,"
And he was
and
like, "What?
he made it.
What?"
And she goes, "Gotcha. 80 means danger." And yeah, I was like,
So
"Dang, okay."
good.
And see, even then, just like a little snippet, Ellie's smart. That's all I gotta say. Ellie's fucking
Wow.
smart.
Imagine that. Ellie being
Eh.
smart as a fucking kid. Wow, how crazy. What? Who would have thought? Oh, such foreshadowing. This is going to be such a long episode, by the way. If we keep going at
Mhm.
this pace, we are going to be way longer than Arcane season 1. I
Yeah.
got one check mark down here. We got like 20 to go.
Well, we can tastefully go into when Tess comes back and they're starting to travel out of the city.
Right.
Ellie has never been outside of the city. She is her innocence, from being basically in Boston her whole life, I think is it's really showing. And she goes, "Wow, these buildings are so tall. What is that sound? I heard that there's like infected that use echolocation like bats." And in the show, they show it a little more how Tess is warming up to Ellie a lot more. I would say taking more of a learning, or I'm the teacher, I can tell you about this world. And she's very warm with Ellie. I noticed it a lot more than the game. She's a lot more colder in the game. Um, and I think I really enjoyed that just because she's like, "Oh, you're still a kid, like you're super innocent," all that stuff.
Yeah, she had this little
And
soft spot for her.
she did. And at this point, they don't know about Ellie being infected until they come across the soldiers. Same in the game, same in the show, just not as much soldiers. It's just like two of them that are about to call it in, whatever. And it just so happens to be the guard earlier in the show that, Joel did a drug deal with, which I think it didn't help or hurt. It was just like a
It was
scene. It was
whatever.
whatever. But in
I think that's
seeing
something
how,
Craig added. Most of what Craig added in season 1 was whatever, you know?
yeah,
He
yeah,
he
I
probably
like,
thought it was genius. He was like, "This is art." But
yeah,
it's all of his additions were whatever.
they were whatever. I did enjoy showing Joel beat the fuck out of this soldier, like with his fists, I think doing that, and then Ellie watching and doing the
Mhm.
comparison if you watch the after part of the episode of Sarah being scared when he killed their neighbor versus Ellie being like, "Oh, you killing for me. I love that."
Mhm.
And there
Right.
is a huge, separation between her and Sarah on that. And she goes, "Oh, this man would kill for me." Right? But she doesn't know. She doesn't know his history or anything like
It was
that.
a big it was a big moment. I think that was the first time she really saw that, and she's always been curious about doing more with her life and all that kind of stuff. And so it was such an interesting
Mhm.
moment for her to see what that actually looks like, what
Mhm.
living in this world actually looks like besides
Yes.
being in that school, right?
Mhm.
Because that's all she's ever
Absolutely.
known. She had more of a normal upbringing in that school where she was bullied and had all these issues. She
Mhm.
knew somewhat of the world, but up until they went to the mall, her and Riley went to the mall, she had no real experience with what this world actually is. And then she had
Mhm.
that, Marlene to Joel, and seeing Joel do that
Exactly.
set the stage for her for where she goes from then on. But then they go and they see if she's immune. They don't believe her. She has to use a magazine to go to the bathroom, right? They throw it to her.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
She has a sandwich and stuff, and I don't know. It was good. It was interesting. They finally start believing her enough to where they keep moving. And then the first time a clicker is introduced is right around
Mhm.
then, right? When they go into the museum area.
Oh yeah,
Not
same as
museum
the
area.
game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, same as the game. That's how they introduced a clicker. I do like that scene where she's eating her sandwich. She's like, "Can I have a gun?" And they're like, "No." And she goes, "Fine, I'll just fucking throw a sandwich at him." I liked that a lot.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and then they did do a difference where they waited a full night just to see if she'd actually turn. I think that made more sense than just being like, "Fine, we believe you, let's go." I think that made a
It
lot
did make
more
sense. Hmm.
cautionary sense. And then yeah, going straight into the museum, they did a very good job.
Somewhat. Okay. I don't know. Hear me out on this though, because I feel
Okay.
like it makes sense. Wait overnight, see if she turned. Sure, I'm not mad at that decision, but in defense of the game, um, you have Joel, you have Ellie, they've killed a million zombies, they've killed a bunch of people at this point, right? This is a little
Hmm.
girl. If she starts turning, I don't think Joel will have any hesitation to put a bullet in her head. What they're looking for is the guns. What they're looking for is to finish their task and go. Taking it a whole night just to wait to see if she turns when it's not really a threat to you. It is, but as long as you know and you can keep an eye on it, kind of we're going to get you there as soon as possible so that we can go and get the guns. That also makes sense to me, given the characters. They're probably not very scared
Exactly.
of Ellie,
Hmm. Yeah,
whether
exactly.
she's immune or not.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't really have much to say about the museum scene besides the fact that they did really fucking good with the clickers. The actors
They
as the
did.
clickers were great. Setting the seriousness and the fear that Pedro Pascal and Tess had. So when Ellie was trying to ask questions in the show, he just goes, shut the fuck up, like, and but that wasn't really like that. They didn't. You feel the fear and the seriousness in the game, but I think it's way heavier in the show.
Interesting.
I think.
I think that they did a good job at setting it more horror-esque in the show.
Yes.
But in the game it was it was a longer sequence. Um,
Yes. Hmm.
Obviously, because you're actually playing and interacting with
Playing.
it. Um, and so I think that it just does different things. You can't have the same kind of anticipatory
Hmm.
moments in the
Hmm.
game that you can with the show. They did a really good job with it. And I mean, I thought that they did a really good job. I think I'm a little jaded on it because uh, there were so few zombies in the entirety of
Yeah.
the show, and there were so
Yeah.
many sequences
The
in the
game.
game, and they set it up so well. One of the things I loved the most about the show when it comes to the zombies is how they showed in episode 2 um, how it's a network. How if you step on
Oh
the
yeah.
that's how they communicate and that's how hordes come, right? And
Yeah.
that the clicker, I believe, if I'm recalling right, they step on something, and that's what the clicker goes to.
They no, so what that was way more unfortunately later on. That was closer to Tessa's death in the Capitol building. That's the word I was looking for earlier. In the
Oh,
Capitol
okay,
building. Yeah, but they did
that's
have
right.
a
That's right.
conversation. Tess, like I said, was being warm towards Ellie, telling her about this world, trusting her. She goes, "Why are they all moving at the same way?" And she goes, "Well, it's like a hive mind. They're all connected. You step on they don't say spore, they say something else. You step on this, and a whole horde 10 miles away will come running." I think
Right.
that was. I think I liked that. I don't know how I
I
felt
would
about
have
not.
I would have loved that in the game. If they put that in the
Ah,
game, I know they have spores, right? I get that they have spores, but if they put where you actually have to watch out where you're walking, like legitimately think Days Gone Horde, okay? Think Days Gone Horde,
oh
but
my god.
you just have to keep an eye out for on the floor, and then if you walk and accidentally step on it, you gotta hope that you're playing on easy mode or have all of the bullets you could ever need because you're gonna be running and running and running. I think that would have been a huge addition to the game. Would have been so freaking cool. Gameplay wise, that would have been such an interesting feature to add. And I
Yeah,
really, really like that they did that in the show. They didn't really use
yeah.
it much, but I like that they did it and
No.
they used it in a couple episodes.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then I guess now we could just move forward into them seeing the Capitol building in the horizon. Joel and Ellie share the
Yeah.
same. the same not lyrics, the same words as in the game where he's like, "Is that everything you'd hope for?" And she goes, "Jury's still out." You know, and I think
Mhm.
that was awesome. And then him saying, "I know it's a bit scary to walk." She goes, "That was scary. This is wood," and just walks across like
That's
no
right.
fucking
That's right.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so glad because in the game she just goes and just walks across. You know, I think adding that commentary, it was really tasteful, and
Yeah.
they did keep the coldness that Tess had after being bit. And she's like, "Let's just fucking go and get this done." Versus earlier, she was just like, "Oh, I want to relax after this. Can we chill after this? Can we not take a
Yeah,
few
she started getting
jobs?"
stressed. You see the
Hmm.
stress.
Immediately. And you can also, if you look carefully in the game and the show, you can see the redness getting worse in the gameplay before you actually,
Yeah, but you got to be looking real close cuz it's
oh
really
yeah.
not there unless you know.
Yeah.
But that's
Mm-hmm.
one thing, and we're gonna watch it. We're getting to that point here where we have another clip to see.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have a lot of thoughts about this clip we're gonna see. What I think they did well is showing the desperation before the reveal. We don't know yet, and then when she
Mm-hmm.
walks in and she sees that they're all dead,
Mm-hmm.
you start really seeing it
Mm-hmm.
hit her. What
Oh, and
what
then
the
Ellie
rest of her
clocking it
life
because
is
she's
gonna be.
smart.
Oh, imagine that again. Yes, wow. Ellie, smart. What? Are you
What?
kidding me? She's just a girl. What?
Oh my god. She's just a dad. I'm sorry. All right, so we're pulling up the game one first,
We're
right?
pulling up the game one first. Locked and loaded.
Oh no.
What happens now?
What are you doing, Tess?
Maybe they had a map or something to tell us where they were going.
How far are we gonna take
Far
this?
as it needs to go. Where was this lab of theirs?
Oh, she never said. She only mentioned that it was someplace out west.
What are we doing here? This is not us.
What do you know about us?
Oh,
About me.
I know that you are smarter than this.
Really? Guess what? We're shitty people, Joel. It's been that way for a long
No,
time.
we are survivors.
This is our chance.
It is over, Tess! Now, we tried. Let's just go home.
I'm not going anywhere. This is my last stop.
What?
Our luck had to run out sooner or later.
You going on?
No, don't! Don't touch me.
Holy shit. She's infected.
Joel,
Let me see.
I didn't mean for this.
Show it to me. Oh, Christ.
Oops, right? Give me your arm. This was 3 weeks. I was bitten an hour ago, and it's already worse. This is fucking real, Joel. You've got to get this girl to Tommy's. He used to run with this crew. He'll know where to go.
No. That was your crusade. I am not doing that.
Yes, you are. Look, there's enough here that you have to feel some sort of obligation to me, so you get her to Tommy's. They're here.
Damn it.
I can buy you some time, but you have to run.
You want us to just leave you here?
Yes.
There's no way that...
I will not turn into one of those things. Come on. Make this easy for me.
I can find...
No, just go! Just fucking go.
Ellie,
I'm sorry. I didn't mean for this.
get a move on.
We know you're in there. Drop your weapons and come out with your hands up.
In a blaze of glory.
just how she wanted it.
What the
Blaze of
fuck?
glory.
I can't believe we did that.
Stop.
I'm I'm gonna end it there. I know we hear it in the game.
Hmm.
It's a little bit different in the show, but that is so well acted, so well done. You feel it all. I don't have real beef with the show version.
Mm.
I don't think it's bad. I think the ending is weird. I think how they change it is weird.
They shouldn't have done that.
I don't think they should have
Personally,
done that. But I think that the game acting is just far superior for Tess.
phenomenal. And while you're pulling up the show deaths, I can make a little fun fact again. When Neil was casting for Tess, the reason why he ended up choosing Annie was because everyone that was, trying to be Tess, acting and trying to get that part, when they said the "Don't touch me," everyone screamed except Annie. Annie said she's the only one that dropped it. Don't touch me. Like
Genius.
that was Neil's like, that's her. That's my
Hmm.
Tess.
That's Tess.
Hmm.
And I don't. It's not that I dislike the actress who plays Tess in the show,
I think she
but
did
she
well.
doesn't. She did well. It's just such a high bar that it didn't get. It didn't give the Tess that I know to me.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I agree because Tess is strong, cool, collected always. And I did want to say it earlier, but I forgot to mention it. When they find out Ellie is infected, in the show, she's like, Joel, and then in the game, she's like, look,
Right. Just look,
yeah.
look. Yeah, she doesn't react emotionally, and to me, the that's what makes picking up on her desperation when she sees the that they're dead in the Capitol. That makes it so much more impactful because you see this like anxiety in her that you've never seen
Hmm.
before, that you haven't seen at all. She's
Hmm.
a boss ass bitch, but then here she's not, and that's why Joel's reaction is this isn't us because he's confused because he's never seen her be that anxious either,
Yeah,
right? So he's
yeah,
just full of confusion. And in the show, it's not really like that. She does respond more anxiously to situations. She does respond a little bit more emotionally than you see in the game,
yeah,
I think. But even before this point, right?
yes.
But let's take a look.
Holy shit.
Jesus.
I mean, there's got to be a fucking radio or something, right?
Who killed them? Vedra?
No. One of them got bit. The healthy ones fought the sick ones. Everyone lost. Tess, what are you doing?
Where did Marlene say that she was taking you? Ellie.
I don't know. Just west.
Just fuck. Okay, well, I mean, one of them's got to have a map on them, right? Joel, can you help me?
No. Tess, it's over. We are going home.
This is not my fucking home! I'm staying. I mean, our luck had to run out sooner or later.
Fuck. She's infected.
Show me.
Joel. Oops. Hey. Take your bandage off.
Because she got bit in the museum too, in the show.
Look. Joel. This is real. Oh, she's fucking real. I need you to get her to Bill and Frank's.
No.
They'll take her off your hands. They'll handle it from here.
No, I can't. They won't take her. They're not going to take her.
They will, because you'll convince them. Yes, you will. I never ask you for anything, not to feel the way I felt, not to... You shut the fuck up, because I don't have time. This is your chance. You get her there. You keep her alive. And you set everything right. All the shit we did. Please say yes, Joel. Please. Oh, fuck!
Mm.
All right.
It didn't show the last part, but I guess we could just talk about it.
We can just talk about it. She makes out with the zombie. Spoiler.
Yeah, and everyone was saying that was not everyone, Craig was saying that the zombie doing that was showing that the infection isn't hate, that it is
It was
something.
such. I'm sorry. It was so dumb. His excuse was
It
so
was
dumb. It
bullshit.
was so bullshit. We know now that he's a shitty ass writer and he should never been a part of this show in any way. He absolutely ran it into the ground. His whole reasoning for it was dumb. It didn't show anything like that at all. There was no. Ugh, it was just bullshit. And after watching it again, I gotta say that I definitely love the game death scene so much more. I
Hmm.
think there has to be some obligation here. Incredible line. I think that Tess saying, I never, like, you didn't have to feel how I feel, you didn't have to do all this. I think that that just gave a little too much. I think that I like that it was left ambiguous. There wasn't this, like, anger behind it. There
Hmm.
wasn't this imbalance to it. There's some obligation here. But I felt like they were on an equal playing field in the game. In the show, I don't believe that they were. I don't think it was communicated as equally.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know why I did like it, but I have to I mean, the game being the first thing I experienced, I like it more. I like that she went out, and it makes more sense that it was the guards or Fedra coming after them because they killed Fedra agents, a lot of them in
Mhm.
the game, and that's why they're coming after them. And, I do enjoy the fact that the horde came after them because the zombie touched the spores coming out. So I think that's cool. But they shouldn't have had the makeout scene.
It was
It
so weird.
shouldn't have done it. Shouldn't have done it. But I do enjoy what she was saying to Joel. It's just invalidating his love towards her. And like you said, they were on an even playing field before, you know.
All right,
Yeah.
let's keep this moving. So we aren't going to talk too much about Bill and Frank, although they're seen their whole episode in the show. The next episode, following episode 2, is incredible, beginning to end. It is beautiful. It is a break from the story of the plot and shows this beautiful story between Bill and Frank. In the game, we just see Bill, well, ish. Um, we just really interact with Bill, and Frank is just mentioned from him, and he's very angry, bitter, total asshole, whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and in the show, it's this beautiful love scene, and they don't even interact with Bill at all, right? Because Bill and
Hmm.
Frank are already gone by the time that they get there. I thought that this is the biggest deviation from the game to the show in season 1.
Hmm.
And I thought it was absolutely incredible. I couldn't to this day. I gone and watched just episode 3 um,
Yeah.
of the show. It is a beautiful story told in the course of an hour that you just don't get in the game.
No. And I do have to say, I did forget that I would say 10 minutes of like 5 minutes in the beginning, 5 minutes in the end, you get Joel and Ellie, right? And
Mhm.
it's them heading towards Bill and or Bill's town, and then in the end, it's them finding Bill and Frank. Um, but I really enjoy the beginning where they're standing and they see a broken down plane, a plane that crashed, and she goes, "You got to go in the fucking air, man. What are you talking about? Like that's so unheard of for her." And and she it just again shows the innocence in Ellie. I
Mhm.
I'm glad that they showed a little bit more in the show versus actually no, when they're walking through the forest she goes, "Whoa, fireflies, real ones." And in the game and walking through the forest she's like, "I've never been through a forest before. This is so cool." I also really enjoy it. It didn't have to be shown in the show, right? Because we get it in the game. I do enjoy the way Bill and Ellie bicker. I do enjoy that they showed Bill talking to himself and him being a little cuckoo in the head,
Mhm.
being alone for so long, and they did a really good job making who he was in the game or in the show. And being saying that the government was all Nazis or whatever, and he goes, "The government is all Nazis," and he goes, "Not anymore." And just being a crazy
Mhm.
conspiracy theorist and ready for the apocalypse. He had that shit down, and that makes so much sense.
I love it. I love everything about it. I love in the show how he's so hardened like that, and then it's not overnight, and you see them fight 5 years later because because Frank wants to nicen the place up,
He's like,
and
"Why?"
yeah, he's
And
like, why? Don't do that. It's unnecessary risk.
he goes,
But he's
"We're
this
having
protector,
visitors,"
and yeah, I know.
and he goes,
He
"Frank."
will have friends.
He's like, "I've been talking to a nice lady over the phone," and he's like, "What?" Like, it just definitely shows
So good.
the relationship between them, and then the way Joel is immediately ally. Like he goes, "Mine's the same." When they're at he's like,
Yeah,
you
I
can uncock your gun, like it's fine. Like I
right.
get you. I'm you. Our partners are them. Like he's
Yeah.
like, yeah,
It's
it's
such a good
beautiful.
time. And the strawberry scene is so sweet.
And his little
Oh,
fucking laugh that like,
it's so cute. And then just seeing them grow old and the
uh,
oh
and
God,
they don't
I need
really
to
talk
watch that
about.
episode again.
Yeah, and they don't talk about what it is that Frank had. He did mention something about them not having a cure for it even before
I
the
think it's
apocalypse started.
Parkinson's.
It was either Parkinson's, AIDS, or cancer. That's the big three. And we don't know. They don't tell us about it. We just know that he can't really walk at all.
Mhm.
He was wheelchair bound. Them doing a fake out on us though in the show about Bill dying instead.
Mhm.
Wow, that was a good fake out. A lot of people would argue that Bill going out in the middle of the street when the Raiders are coming was not very Bill like. He wouldn't do that,
I
blah, blah,
disagree.
blah.
That is Bill like. That is
Hmm.
Bill like, I think.
I think he's just ballsy. I think he was
I think he's
confident
trying to
that his
protect his
fence would
people.
work.
I think he's confident. I think that he's out there and he wants to protect his family, but also
Hmm.
his he's very protective over his space and his property.
Yes.
And so I think he wants to go, and he's not the type, Bill is not the type to go and sit and wait for them to come to him. He sees this threat, he's going to go out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's the only thing that makes sense for his character.
Yeah, absolutely. And their love together was beautiful. Bill not even telling Frank that he also put enough drugs in the line to kill a horse. And yeah, I just think that was really he's like,
so good.
He's like, I'm tired. I lived the life I wanted to live. It was so fucking beautiful. And even Neil was like, this was the story I wanted to tell. But in the time that he released the game, he couldn't add any religion. He could barely add any sort of, like homo relationships. He did for Ellie, which was great.
Well, in the DLC.
A year later.
It was after the game was a hit that he was able to do that. He did include Bill and Frank, but only if you were reading the notes that you really understood that they were gay, not just disgruntled partners. But even then, it was alluded to, not explicitly stated, and it wasn't a good relationship in the game.
No. And the way he reacted, so a lot of people would argue that that Bill and Frank were not partners, but he literally says it.
I firmly disagree.
He literally says it, and he goes, "What, you know this guy or something?" And Joel's like, "Yeah, Bill's like, "Yeah, that's Frank. He's the only idiot that would wear a shirt like that," and starts crying. And Bill, throughout the whole time you're playing with him, is a hard ass. He is a hard.
No, they know. I don't think it's even like subtly alluded to. I think that it's very clear that it's alluded to, because when they leave in the truck, Ellie's looking through a bunch of men. And says, why is it all stuck together? Okay, like they know that he's gay. They know that they're partners. Absolutely. It's just not explicitly stated.
Your friend will be missing this tonight. Ellie, that's not for kids.
Why are they did do that truck together?
Scene yeah, they definitely did that scene very beautifully done.
Yeah, right. But then, so incredible. They move on. Both they have the truck. They're riding across. And then in the show, they spend 2 days in Kansas City, where they end up meeting 2 episodes, whatever, close enough. 2 episodes in Kansas City where they end up meeting Sam and Henry. And in the game, not as long. We're not introduced to as many people there. It's more ambiguous about what's going on with Sam and Henry, I feel like. But then what they did was that they did make Sam deaf in the show.
And younger.
And he was not in the game. I liked that. I thought that was a really interesting addition. A really nice touch.
I have to give credit towards Craig Mazin in that. Neil Druckmann did say that was his idea, that it was Craig's idea, and he's like, I got pissed because I could have done that and I didn't,
Right. Yeah. No, that was a good idea. That was very well done. That was very powerful. But a broken watch is right twice a day, right? So
that's awesome. That's such a good saying.
All right, and I have to Joel's watch, get it?
Oh yeah. Ow. The fuck? No. The time of Sarah's death. God damn it. No. But yeah, I have to say
wait. It's not. He didn't get it. You can see the watch in Sarah's death. It's not shot. That's not when the watch is shot.
It is.
No, it's not. We just
I promise it is.
I promise it is. Boy, we watched it.
We did, I know, but I've analyzed it so many times and did a comparison of the remake versus the remaster, or the remake versus the original. It shows the cracks in his watch right after she's shot.
All right, I'll believe you. I like it better if it's that.
It's fucked up.
I'll believe
it's really fucked up. But yeah, I have to say, love the actor that they chose for Kathleen. She's a great fucking actor. I don't like Kathleen. I think that addition to the show / story / game, whatever, did not like it. However, her right-hand man was the guy.
So much time on it.
They did. They wasted so much time on it. I didn't give a shit about the story. Oh, I am angry because we were treated unfairly, and then somebody turned in my brother, and I'm angry. Like that's just whatever. It's
They just
supposed to
wanted
make
to
more
give
sense. They wanted to give Henry and Sam more of a reason as to why they're being so hunted down versus them just being child haters and want to kill them.
right. They wanted to give backstory. They wanted to give more information. I don't think it landed at all. I don't think it was as powerful as they anticipated that it was going to be. And it sucks because everything else they added thus far was great. But that was probably something they spent the longest time on, like the time addition on. And I think it came through the least in season one. I do have to say, the scene where I think it's the first bloater we see, but the scene where um, they're fighting all the zombies, and we get to see somewhat of a zombie horde uh, at the
Yeah.
end, right? At the end of the second episode sequence, right before
Yeah.
all this craziness happens. I think
Yeah.
that was extremely well done in the show. I thought that was visually stunning. I
Beautiful.
think that that's the most zombies we see in the entirety of the show, both seasons.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but it was nice. It was good.
They
But yeah, I
actually
agree.
also
Good actor, but
yeah.
not a good storyline.
Kathleen being killed by a kid clicker was also really tastefully done because she hated kids. She didn't see a point in them being around. Um, Also, her right hand man was Tommy Actor from the game, another mention,
Yes.
and showing the death of him, what bloaters do, ripping his face apart. Fucking thought was so cool. I was like, yeah, they actually showed it. Like that's what happens. And I wish they showed a little bit more. They kind of did it in the background. You see it happen, but that's okay. And that man was very, very, very loyal to Kathleen. He died for her. Then she just died right after. She was like, well, I'm dead now. So, um, and then fast forward. I mean, fuck the way this episode ends. Uh, it's. I do have to say too, they didn't add the betrayal of Henry to Joel when they're getting chased by those bandits. He leaves them there. He leaves Joel and Ellie there because he's like all about Sam. I got to protect Sam. It is selfish. It pisses everyone off. They're like, fuck you, Henry. And Ellie jumps off the truck to go and help him, whatever. They run, they jump off the bridge. Then, Henry and Sam save, them. They were drowning. And then Joel was ready to fucking kill him. And Ellie's like, dude, I would have died. Like, just get the fuck over it. I guess taking it out was fine. It was fine. It wasn't needed to be in there. They didn't have to do it per se. It's whatever. They didn't
I
do
mean,
it.
I think get rid of Kathleen's whole speech and all of her backstory, and then put in that scene instead. I think that
The
it
betrayal.
was well done. Yeah, put that in. Make it a little more dynamic. You have time to do it, obviously, but they traded one out for the other. It's fine. I just don't think it works as well. But I'm not. It's not a huge miss either way. I just think that I'm not as impacted by the whole Henry and Sam thing in the show or the game. Like for me, Tess and Sarah, like the deaths we've seen so far have a lot more of an emotional impact for me than Sam's ever did. I mean,
Oh,
Sam and Henry is a big story and it's wild and it is impactful, but to me, it didn't hit me as hard. It was
I agree.
shocking.
It's more shocking than emotionally painful.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed the acting that Bella Ramsey did in that. And the way that Joel reacts in the game is also really interesting because it's the first time you're seeing him like being like, oh my God, to a stranger.
Mhm.
Like no, nonetheless, a stranger. And he's like, oh my God, like the face that he makes when you know, it's so
Well, we're
tastefully
about
done.
to see it, so why don't we
Wait, hold on.
that
I couldn't
scene?
hear you for a second. There we go.
Why don't we take a look at the death scene in the show or the goddamn the
We're gonna
game?
do it the whole podcast.
I know. All right. Let's see.
I can't hear it.
Harleys and drive cross country.
Oh, man. I could die happy if I could just ride one around the block. What was it like?
It was good. It was real good.
Good. Can you believe this guy? Come on, man, give me details. Describe it.
You know what? You two deserve a little privacy.
No, Ellie. This isn't just any regular motorcycle, okay? You get on that bad boy, you feel that engine? Nothing like it.
Oh, yeah? How would you know?
Seen it in my dreams.
Okay.
I don't think anyone from my group is gonna show up.
Yeah.
Worst part about it all, explaining it to Sam.
Well, it's safe to say those two have officially bonded. What are you doing?
Taking stock of all the food we found today.
I see. And how are we doing on canned peaches?
Did Henry send you?
No? Why would Henry send me?
To make sure I'm not fucking up somehow.
I'd say we all did pretty good back there. Especially you. Is everything all right?
Yeah, everything's fine.
Okay. Well, have a good night.
How is it that you're never scared?
Who says that I'm not?
What are you scared of?
Let's see. Scorpions are pretty creepy. Uh, being by myself. I'm scared of ending up alone. What about you?
Those things out there. What if the people are still inside? What if they're trapped in there without any control of their body? Scared of that happening to me.
Okay. First of all, we're a team now. Okay, we're gonna help each other out. And second, they might still look like people, but that person is not in there anymore.
Henry says that they've moved on. That they're with their families. Like in heaven. Do you think that's true?
I go back and forth. I mean, I'd like to believe it.
But you don't.
I guess not.
Yeah. Me neither.
Oh. All the serious talk. I almost forgot. There. If he doesn't know about it, he can't take it away. All right. I'm pooped. I'll see you tomorrow. Damn. That smells good.
Good morning.
Where's Sam?
I let him sleep in for once.
Oh.
Well, if you want him to join us, you can go wake his ass up.
Okay.
The hell? Shit, he's turning!
That's my fucking brother!
Screw it!
Shit!
Ellie? Ellie, are you all right?
Oh my god.
Sam?
Oh no.
Sam?
Henry? Ellie, stay there. Henry?
What have you done?
I'm gonna get that gun from you, okay? Oh, okay, easy.
It's your fault.
This is nobody's fault, Henry.
It's all your fault.
Henry! Henry, no!
Oh my god.
Ba-na-na, na-na-na. Ugh, man, that pain. So good.
So good. I honestly forgot about like the little blood splatter that comes up with that on the camera. It's crazy. That's
Mhm.
such a nice touch.
Mhm.
Um, and there was a lot more dialogue between Ellie and Sam than I recall, but that's because it is a lot more limited in the show what they
Yeah.
actually talk about. There's a
Yeah.
lot more of an innocence to the show um, than there is in the game where it's like this is her friend in a different way, right? Because there's a bigger age gap in the show than there is in the game.
Mhm.
And I think
Mhm.
that you can kind of see them be a lot more friendly with each other and um, humanizes Ellie even more than she's already humanized, making her just have a normal interaction, which is the first time you see something like that with her peers. Uh,
Yeah.
in the game. So I thought that that was
Absolutely.
so well done, and it is very powerful. Him going and shooting Sam and then killing
Sam.
himself is
Yeah.
crazy.
I think that they also in the show, while you're getting this ready, I think in the show it it builds this relationship between Henry and Sam a lot more so it can hurt more. I think it also hurts more because he's a lot younger. They told the reason why he needed to get medicine for Sam was because he had leukemia, he was deaf. Like they really fucking laid it on thick
Hmm.
when it comes to their relationship and Sam himself. It was a lot sadder to me. They also had a really, really good, like you mentioned, Ellie and him had a more genuine, innocent friendship. And I like that when you're playing with alongside Sam and Henry, you you see how much Henry cares about him. He's saying stuff like, "Oh, it's the first time I've heard that kid laugh in so long," all that stuff. So it hurts even more.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I do find it interesting. I just pulled the clip up for the show, and what we just watched was about 6 minutes long for the game. Um,
Mhm.
the entire interaction is 3 minutes. It's half the time in the show. Isn't that crazy? Hopefully it's the full
Yeah.
clip. We'll see, but I'll go ahead and let's take a look at what happens in the
All right. It's definitely not the full clip. Um, because before this they're talking and writing to each other.
yeah, I thought
Um,
we were gonna get that. All right, give me 1 second.
no worries. I'll just say another fun fact then. The sign language used in the show is not your traditional sign language. I'm not entirely too sure what it's called, but I was somewhat, I think it was you were like, no, that's a traditional sign language. And I'm like, no, it's not. Because I remember an old friend of mine was studying sign language, and I was like, this is not normal sign. And I, in fact, was right, not to suck my own dick or anything. I was right. It was mentioned after the episode, in the whole making of the episode stuff. They talked about how they said something about it was different slang used in the signing, and they had someone on set to help. him and to help the actors as well.
Yeah. All right, I think I have it. It's about a minute and almost 2 minutes longer, so hopefully this is it.
I promise. Promise.
She really tried.
She did. I do think that there was more to that, but that was the longest clip I could find. I couldn't find any more. There wasn't very
That's all
many
right.
of them.
We can talk about what they did beforehand.
Hey.
Saying something to a deaf person, though, like, come on. Like, come on.
Hey! Hey, that's probably Craig was like, we got to make her look at least a little dumb with what we're going to do to her in part 2.
Actually. Mm.
Ellie. You okay? Easy, easy, easy. Henry, give me the gun. Henry, give me the gun. What did I do? What did I do? What did I do? Henry, give me the gun. Give me the gun. Give me the gun, Henry. Give me the gun. Henry, no! Oh, God.
Then they do go and bury and show putting his writer on the grave. So I do think that that's a good addition. I don't
I
know,
say it
man.
hurts more. It hurts more than the game to me. It hurts because of that innocent relationship, friendship
I
that they
think
had.
I think the relationship is great. I do like the additions of it. I think that they're different. I think I'm not gonna lie, after watching them back to back, I kind of prefer the game. I remember preferring the show, but
You did. Yeah, I remember that.
yeah, but I think watching it back to back, I do like how Ellie and Sam talk to each other. It's in a different way, but I like that camaraderie that's there, and I like that
Yeah.
you see a little bit more of Henry hanging out at first, and then it's
Yeah.
the hey, yeah, if you want him, go wake him up. Like it's a very like huge tonal shift.
Yeah.
Where it's like lighthearted that goes into, she's like, Sam, 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 right?
Yeah.
Versus in the show, she's staying with him there. So it's different. I like both. Both are very impactful. So
Yeah.
um, it's good.
It is. We couldn't find this clip beforehand, but basically the whole conversation they were having before was similar to the game, but they were writing it down. Sam just straight up asked her like, "Aren't you ever afraid?"
Mm-hmm.
And she says scorpions and then fear of ending up alone. It was very similar to that. They were writing it back and forth to each other because
Right.
Ellie doesn't know how to sign. Um, I also loved a little tidbit. I loved that he was also a fan of Savage Starlight. He showed her that he had another comic that she didn't have, and so they switched. And she was like, "To the edge of the universe," and he was signing it with her. I fucking love
So
that.
cute. Yeah.
So cute.
Yeah, I think I need to watch the episode episodes with them again to really get the true thing. Because I do remember first time watching through that I was blown away, and
They
the
did a really good
actor did
job.
such a good job.
Oh
Sam.
yeah, I think all of them did. I liked the Henry they chose. I liked you know, I I think the "it's all your fault" part versus "what did I do" was more impactful. Because him saying it's all your fault, he's not saying it to Joel. He's saying it to himself.
To himself, right?
Yeah, and saying the whole, what did I do is like, okay, obviously, right? Right. So
Mm.
I think the "it's all your fault." Probably Craig changed that because it wouldn't have come. TV watchers are dumber than game watchers or
Yeah.
players. That's basically how
Yeah, you
it's
got to
given
spoon feed it to
sometimes.
everybody, right?
You do. You have to spoon feed it.
According to him. I think that that's wrong, but
Yeah.
who am I? All right.
Yeah. And also her saying, "I'm sorry." I loved that Ellie said, "My blood is magic. I can heal
Mm.
you." Shows the bite. It's very personable. It's a personable relationship trying to heal him. That hurt. I think that's why it adds more of an
That did
emotional
hurt. Yeah.
impact.
Yeah.
And I think in that moment really did give him hope. And I'm kind of glad that it's showing that he turned in his sleep. Obviously he didn't. He was awake. At
Mm.
least he was turned in the other direction, so he didn't see Ellie.
Right.
R.I.P. Sam, R.I.P. Henry. And then it does like a huge jump over to them trying to find Tommy. Um, they took out the dam scene, which I think wasn't a bad thing. Um, I think it made sense. I think I think Joel finding Tommy in that in Jackson and it already being built up full of families that have electricity already, they have a bunch of food, they're building a community. I think that was I liked that better than Joel and Ellie walking up of them building it. I think it already being built made a lot more sense just because he was like, "I haven't heard from you. What the fuck?" And basically it was just because he became a quote unquote leader for these people in Jackson. And the whole scene, the scene before in the show with the Native American actors, I think was a nice little comic relief after everything that you witness with Sam and Henry. Uh, that is also when they show the severe crippling anxiety from Joel. And I'm happy that they added that because he's still a fucking human after all these years. He's going back to a trauma that hasn't been touched in 20 years. He's, of course he's going to have that un fucking unbreakable feeling like him feeling like he's having a heart attack basically. Um I
Yeah,
just
he's having
enjoyed
a
that.
panic attack. Yeah.
He's having a full on panic attack. Ellie's freaking out. She's like, "I need you to lock in, man. I'm a
Yeah, like
kid."
hello.
Yeah. And then them finding Jackson, the feeling of seeing Jackson for real. Oh, it was so beautiful. It was
I
so
know.
beautiful. And I know Neil Druckmann himself was like seeing this in person was he said it was unreal. He was getting emotional
I
because it
bet I would
was
be
Jackson.
emotional.
Oh
I
yeah.
really want like could you imagine if they made like a Sony Land or something like that where they made like a Disneyland but it's for uh Sony, PlayStation, Xbox, whatever video games. If we
They did
had
have
like an amusement park and then
yeah,
Jackson is just the setting and then you have
there.
roller coasters over here, there, whatever, but it's all just in Jackson.
Yeah. And they did have the Last of Us experience, which I have no idea what it was like on the inside. I kind of want to look up videos now that it's been a while, because they did that with the initial release of season one. Um, really wanted to go, and I just, you know, couldn't.
Yeah.
It was LA, of course.
I know, but that would be so cool.
Hopefully they do it again. We never know. But yeah, I would say oh my God, gotta mention the actor they chose for Maria. True Blood mention, any True Blood fans out there. It's an old fucking series, but She was amazing. I loved that actor in True Blood. She was gay. Love it. Had to add that in there. I can't remember if she becomes a vampire or not, but she falls in love with a vampire. Just had to say that real quick. Um, I enjoyed the fact that it just immediately separated Ellie and Joel, and they're both he's okay with it because I'm sure he trusts Tommy, he trusts where they're at. She is incredibly uncomfortable. She's like, "Who the fuck are you?" You know,
Mhm.
and is super cold towards Maria. However, you get to see that a little another side comment I want to make too is they actually showed the problems of being a woman with a menstrual cycle,
Right.
with Ellie trying to find tampons and pads and not telling
Mhm.
Joel about that. And then, Maria just leaving a little diva cup for her. I think that's really cool. I think that was really, really cool of her. And it's just like a
It was a
little
nice
tidbit.
touch.
Like,
Yeah.
it's a nice
Yeah,
touch.
nice
Everyone
nice
wonders,
little
what would you do? What would you do if you had your period in the
Diva
apocalypse?
cup
Well, here
makes
you
sense,
go.
man. Yeah, Diva cup's probably the best way to go,
Absolutely.
in
And
that
she
world.
was like, what the fuck? Like looking at her like, how do you work this
What do I
thing?
do with this? Yeah.
Yeah. Giving her new clothes, cutting her hair, all of
Right.
that. It was a way to
It was
show you
nice.
can trust me and
And it
trying
was a
to warn her
break.
about Joel.
You're coming down from Sam and Henry, and then you get
Hmm.
this nice little break, this touch of normalcy in a
Hmm.
world that is not normal.
Yes. And learning how Ellie learned about Sarah.
Right.
Um, it was just so casual. And she goes, and Maria's not surprised that Joel didn't tell her. She's just like, oh, makes sense.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Go ahead and keep talking. I'll be right back, but I can still hear you.
Yeah. Okay, for sure. Yeah, so kind of want to talk a little bit more about the conversation that Joel and Tommy had, where he's basically saying, like, when was the last time you had liquor? They go into a bar, he's having whiskey for the first time in years, like real whiskey, and he's basically trying to explain to Tommy, like, she's immune, and he's like, you're fucking shitting me. I don't believe you, blah, blah, blah. But he's trying to tell him, like, you need to take her. You used to run with the Fireflies. You know where their bases are at. Um, and it's more of an aggressive conversation instead of a genuine one, because Tommy's like, no, I'm not doing that for you. This is not something I want to do for you. I have a family starting, and that breaks Joel because he doesn't have a family anymore. He doesn't have someone he loves. He doesn't have a kid to care about, technically, quote unquote. He doesn't have his own. And after that conversation, he walks out into Jackson out of the bar, and he sees someone who had the very, very similar hair to Sarah. And he sees the life that she could have had. That woman who had Sarah's hair had a husband and a kid running up to her. And he was just like, really broken at that moment. Um, and then, scene cut over to Joel trying to repair his really fucked up boots, and Tommy walks in and he just gives it to him. He gives him new boots, and he's just like, Joel is very straightforward with him, and this is when you see a really genuine side of Joel, and he's just like, I'm failing in my sleep. I see her die, basically saying, like, he sees Sarah die every day. He can't even save her in his dreams. And that is very, very sad. And it makes sense as to why he has these panic attacks about Ellie. He's like, I can't live through this again. I cannot be in protection and fail to protect a person that I'm starting to love as a daughter. Because he just can't go through it again. He can't, because he almost died the first time trying, which again we're going to mention later on. Um, it was mentioned earlier, before Tess. Ellie's asking Joel, "How'd you get that scar on your head?" And she was a gunfight. Guy shot. He missed. Whatever. It was super simple, but there was some history behind that, which we don't know until the last episode of season one. Um, let's see here. Getting some notes out. I cannot remember if Maria was pregnant in the game. I know, fake fan, but I do know that they would for sure made it something prominent in the show.
She wasn't.
Uh,
She wasn't from what I recall. I do not believe
mhm.
she was pregnant. Sorry about
Yeah,
that.
no worries. I gotta turn the light off real quick. But yeah, we'll
Okay.
go ahead and mention over the Ellie running away.
Over Ellie running away? What do you
Yeah, because she knew that what Joel was doing about trying to separate them, so she ran away from Jackson.
Am I crazy here? What do you wait,
Yeah,
I thought that
that's the scene where they like you have to chase after her on horses. You and Tommy go. You gotta you know you come across a tiny little house. You gotta shoot a bunch of bandits, and he's like, oh my god, is Ellie dead? Whatever. Runs across the ranch, sees her. She's in there, and that's when they have that really touching scene.
oh, that's when they okay, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, 'cause I know the scene where uh well, 'cause he wants to leave her.
He wants to leave her in Tommy's hands so they can go
Right.
to the Fireflies together. Yeah, because he can't handle that pain. He cannot live through that again.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
do think that that scene in the game and the show was extremely well done. I mean, that's one of the
yeah.
most impactful. That's what sticks with you, um, whether you play the game or watch the show. That scene where he's
Mhm.
kind of brutal about it. Um,
Yeah, they did it a little differently when it comes to Joel changing his mind. It was like an overnight thing that he decides to change his mind versus in the show it was we got back or sorry, in the game we got back to Jackson. He's like, "Give me the horse. Where do we go?" Ellie,
mhm.
get on my horse. You know, like it was
Yeah,
give the horse on back to Tommy. She's like, really? Like she's really happy about it that she chose him. Didn't even have a conversation about it because they don't have that kind of relationship to have emotional and serious conversations. They're just not like that. Joel's not like that. Ellie just, you know, she's never really had probably a genuine emotional conversation except with Riley.
right.
Um, yeah. So they they have the scene. Little fun fact in the game, that scene was not supposed to have Ellie pushing Joel, but Ashley Johnson decided to do that herself. And
Great
Neil
touch.
kept it in.
Yep.
Great touch. And yeah, I again don't hate it any less, love it anymore. Comparing the two, they did really good job. They did word for word, and that was a scene that they had to do word for word, and I'm very glad that they did.
I agree. Yeah, it was very important to nail that. Ashley Johnson nailed that, and so you
Oh
got to
yeah.
give her justice
Oh yeah.
in that scene.
Yes. And now we're moving forward. They go to it's not Salt Lake City yet. He goes, "Go Bighorns." I forgot what is it. It's not
Philly?
Philadelphia. Is it Philly?
Philly.
I think yeah, I think it's Philly.
They go to Philly
Um,
in the game. In the show, they don't. They skip over that
yeah,
whole part.
they were still in a university, but it was closer to where they were headed. And the university scene was completely different. You're in there for a long time in the game. Obviously, got to add some playtime into it. And you get attacked by random bandits. In the game, Joel falls like 2 stories and gets impaled by a rod that was sticking
Hmm.
out, and they said that it was too unrealistic to add it into the show. So I was just like, all right, everything is unrealistic in the show, but whatever. uh,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't think it was necessarily unrealistic in the game that he fell
it's
off
not.
and was impaled. Like, okay, that could happen.
It could. I think they were more worried about possibly breaking bones or puncturing
Yeah,
whatever.
so he just gets stabbed.
Yeah, and I think changing it a little bit too for the gamers, it was nice because you're like, wait, they're already outside, they're escaping. How the fuck is Joel gonna get stabbed, right? And it's
Yeah,
just
because
from a
that needs to happen, you know?
yeah, and then it happens from a broken bat, and we're in Joel's mindset in the show where it's like, oh, he's fine, he killed the guy. He looks down, oh, he's impaled, and you're like,
Mhm.
oh, okay, jump on the horse. He falls off. Ellie's like, you got to tell me what to do. And in the show, she's like, you can't fucking leave me alone, Joel. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going. I think I liked the scene with, Game Ellie more just because she's like very, very desperate and emotional versus in the game,
And she's
she's,
more angry too.
mm-hmm. She's like, you got to tell me what to do, and then in the show, she is more angry. Yeah. And then thankfully, I'm so glad they did this. Uh, to switch over to the next episode, which is our favorite episode, the Left Behind episode.
Hmm.
They fit it in so
The
perfectly.
same time, that's the
Open,
same kind of fear. Fear
the
of
same
losing
kind of
somebody.
fear. Exactly. And, Ellie, I don't think they were in a mall in the show. They were just in that
Yeah, they
house,
were.
and she no. Well, yes, Ellie and Riley were for sure in the mall. However, in the DLC, when you're patching up Joel, you're in the mall. In this show, they didn't do that. They were just straight up in the house
Oh,
next to
I
David.
see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes,
yes.
absolutely. Right.
Which makes, I guess it makes sense. It flows better. Doing the scene where the whole episode is Ellie remembering, and it's just a flash for her. When for us, it's like a full, what, 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
I love the actor they chose for Riley. I couldn't choose anyone else. Um, I don't remember her name. I just recognized her from Euphoria from when I was watching it as Rue's sister. Um, I loved that they added
I
that.
forgot. I forgot she's Rue's sister. She's not Gina. It might. It's not Gina.
I
Something
don't
like
know her
that.
name. I
Something
don't
like
know her
that.
name
But
from it. I
yeah.
just recognized her and I was like, holy shit. Like I was so psyched for it because I know she was a good actor. Um, and the relationship between Riley and Ellie, I think was portrayed a little better in the show for me, just a little bit. You see a lot more. You see Ellie's life with Riley being gone just before Riley comes in and scares the shit out of her in her sleep. Um, you have
Yeah.
that conversation. You show Ellie's anger beating up a bitch that looks like Abby because everyone was like, "Is this Abby?" I remember the fan base losing their mind about it. No, it was not Abby. Um, and having the conversation with the dean or whatever of the school, and he goes, you can tell all the so and so's to shove it if you're in my position because you have the ability to be where I am because you're smart, Ellie. um and yeah, so and then we move over to Riley. They have the tension. You can see it more portrayed in the show how nervous she is being around Riley. She's trying to like fix herself up in the reflections of the mirror, and a little insecure because she's like she thinks Riley's so cool and she likes her and she has this crush on her, and they have this whole day together. I don't think they really changed much in this show.
No, it was almost shot for shot. It was very, very well done. To the
Yeah,
DLC, which the DLC was absolutely iconic.
iconic. And I'll never forget showing you the DLC and you're like, this is so gay. And I was like, I don't know, they don't really do that in games. You're like,
You
yeah, they've
gaslit
never.
the fuck out of me.
I did. I did, man, because that was my first portrayal of a WLW relationship, and I actually told Ashley Johnson that myself. I said that was it was really nice. Me
It
and
was
my
great, and
friend
you
took
got to
that.
think of the times. It was back then. It was back a long time ago. Like when that DLC first came out, I'm not gonna be here like JoJo Siwa and say that just the first gay, first gay
Yeah.
thing ever. Okay, but for a lot of people, us included, you don't see that in video games. You
No, you
don't
do not.
see that kind of story in, like sure you have Life is
Life is
Strange, but
Strange.
other than that, and this is different. This is a totally different story, not about being gay. That's not what, it's
No.
not about relating to this teenager like Life is Strange is. This is a zombie game, This is a
Yeah.
zombie game.
Hmm.
This is about Joel as the main character, and then they release a DLC that is all about Ellie that shows this beautiful the teenage relationship with her and Riley, and this fun and such The Last of Us bitter moment of this great time followed by this really intense and sad death for Riley.
Yes. I would say the only two changes that are coming to mind, besides taking out the brick throwing contest, it was obviously they chose to play Mortal Kombat and they actually got to play. They didn't
Right.
do the closing your eyes and pressing the buttons and remember like imagining it. I think that
And I
was
thought
really
that was
good.
so cute in the game. I thought that was so cute in the game. I think it made more sense for them to do like a let's imagine it and play through it together
Hmm.
in this imaginary world. I thought that was more intimate of a moment.
Absolutely. And the other thing that was changed was with Ellie getting angry with Riley just because she told her she was leaving. She got angry with Riley in the show because she was making bombs. And she goes, "Oh, you have been here before. You do
Hmm.
like what was the whole point in this? Why am I here? You're making these to kill fragile soldiers. That's what I'm trying to become." It brings us back into the world that they're in. And
Right.
I think I don't take it or leave it. It's something that I liked and didn't care about really.
Yeah.
And then, moving forward, they didn't have the water gun fight either,
No.
which is fine. It's just how would you place that in this? You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
You
they were trying
could,
to have
but it
fun.
wasn't really needed. I think that they used the
No.
time that the brick throwing and the water gun, all that, they used that time to give more of the backstory, which I appreciated the backstory. I liked
Mhm.
seeing how they got there.
They did, I believe they did talk about the water guns, but they didn't
Mhm.
obviously do it. And then got to fast forward over to the kiss scene. Really enjoyed that they used the same song. I enjoyed that Bella Ramsey kept their awkwardness the way Ellie did. Ellie's not knowing how to dance or move. They're like,
Right.
yeah, you know. Um,
It was so cute.
I'll never forget your reaction to that, man.
I was just
You
gonna
like
say the shot, the just like, because I
the
think I
shock, the
even joked.
scream.
I was like, and now they kissed or something like that, and then they did, and I was like,
You literally stood
what?
up.
I did. I know. I remember.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I could not believe it. I was because I fully believed you. You don't lie. You've never lied. You just like freaking say everything, and you're like, yeah, I really wish that they did do something like that. Like that would have been so great.
I was
And
like,
then
they
they
had the
did.
opportunity and they
I
missed
know
it.
you.
I
Oh,
had
you
to
did
because I
me
was
so
like,
dirty. It was so good, but you did me so dirty.
yep. And then I remember, I think this was being played in my old house, Midway. And
Midway.
my
Yeah, it was on
mom came
Midway.
out and she goes, "Oh," and I was like, "Oh, behind you." I was like, "Shut the fuck up. Don't say
You're like,
anything." And
shh.
yeah. And she's like, "Oh, okay."
That's so funny because yeah, I wouldn't put it past your mom to come out and just start saying it
Yeah.
in a good way. I'm just saying that like I
Yeah.
could totally see that happening, but I was oblivious. I had no idea.
Yeah. And then, fast forward again to them. The kiss was short lived. The let's run away together was short lived. I do have to say, I
Right.
did read a fanfic about Ellie or
If
Riley
they
not
ran
actually
away.
being bit.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was a really good fanfic. Never got it finished. I don't think the person ever finished writing it. I will never be able to find it again. That's for sure. I read it when I was like 15, so I don't
Right.
know.
Right.
Um, and yeah, so they get chased down scene for scene again. Ellie falls off the scaffolding again. That was all the same. Um, how they got bit, all the same. Placement of the bites, all the same. Um, even the little speech from Riley stayed the same. I think they cut out a
Mhm.
little bit of the words, but that's fine. It's only because I memorized the entire script. um, and it's because I was gonna use it to get into plays and stuff, but the teacher back then didn't let us use any game stuff. It had to be stuff from like shows and shit like that.
That sucks.
Um, Even though one of the guys he used the insanity thing from Far Cry 3, the most famous like thing. Like, yeah. Yeah. So anyway, the bite scene happens. I really loved how Bella Ramsey portrayed their anger. Um, I think that the fans who actually enjoyed having Bella Ramsey in season one and as a Ellie in general, everyone was like, you can see the anger. This is a good actor. I can't wait for season two. Um, you can see Ellie's anger through Bella Ramsey's fucking acting. Um, Again, not blaming Bella for anything. Cannot blame the actor. You got to blame the writing. um,
Mm,
and yeah.
yeah.
So, and that was a beautiful thing. Obviously, they don't show, Ellie killing Riley. That's obviously something that had to happen. That was her first kill. And it shoots back over to her saving Joel. And he's awake, I think, because in the game, Joel's fucking in a coma the entire time, asleep, in
Right.
pain,
He's
whatever.
just out.
Yeah, I think the way they shot everything with her feeding him water and like feeding him food and all that stuff, I think that was really cool. And way more personable too when she found something to sew up his injury,
Mhm.
him holding on to her and looking at her in her eyes, and she's like, "I'm not fucking leaving you, Joel," even though he pushed her in the
Mhm.
beginning of the episode before the flashback. He's like, "Leave, go, I'm dying, be safe." I think that was way more genuine, and then the music that plays when they're doing it, oh, so good, so good.
Absolutely.
Ah, I see the we're giving a lot of praise to season 1, and there's a
We
reason for
are,
it.
we are. There's a lot of good in season 1. There is a lot of things I can prefer in the game, but at the same time, there's a lot that I prefer in the show as well because it is so incredibly done. And season 1 has a lot of praise, but don't get used to it.
No,
Don't get used to all the praise because
no.
the end of part 1 is right about where the end of our praise is.
Just about, really. Um, so then next episode, we're moving into David. Joel is still healing. He's hurt. He's not really awake. And his injury is kind of infected-ish, but not infected in a way of he's becoming a zombie. Just got to put that out there.
Right,
So
just
we get a whole
normal
episode.
infected.
Yeah, just normal infected. We do get a full episode with Ellie again, and she's just trying to hunt. The infamous arrow through the bunny happens.
Hmm.
She finds a deer, she gets the deer. I think if I remember correctly, they open the episode with David and his cult, if I remember correctly. I can't
Do
fully.
they?
I just know that they showed how his plate is bigger than everyone else's. They show that no one else takes a bite of their food until he does. They show um, him saying that we can't bury your dad yet because the ground is too hard. We can't bury him to the little
Oh
girl, and
yeah, huh.
everyone sees David as their fucking god, as their like father figure, which is crazy. Um, and and then his right hand man, whose name is, I believe, James, um is played by no one other than Troy Baker. He said he
That's
was happy
right.
to play him. Short lived, but it was really cool. I liked the way he embodied James as a character. I liked his facial reactions to di- uh, his loyalty faltering to David. I think was
Mhm.
really well put as well. And they you could see in his face he thinks it's wrong that they're eating human. And he doesn't like that David's trying to enroll Ellie to his cult. I'm gonna say that maybe only a couple times, maybe once. Uh, and I also really enjoyed. I know that Neil Druckmann wanted to add the religious aspect to it into the game, but you can't do that really, especially when this game was released. Putting religion and anything gay in a game in one game is like,
No
and
shot.
no shot at all. I really enjoyed that, and I think you and I both were like, "Oh, they're doing this." When we saw the episode in the beginning where he was like, "Corinthians, blah 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 blah,
I was
John,
here
blah blah
for it.
blah
I
blah."
wanted more. I told you I like instead of doing 2 episodes on Kathleen and all that. No, no, no. Give me those 2 episodes with David. Let me see the cult. Have her stay with him longer. Whatever that means, however this works, I want to know the ins and outs of all of this. And they didn't give me
Hmm.
longer, but they did do a good job at going deeper into it, and I really, really appreciate that. I was fascinated by the whole thing. I have such a big fascination with cults and different religious beliefs, and it makes sense in this world that you'd have these leaders who are confident, because you have all these people that are just going to latch on to anything and everything, right? They're
Hmm.
scared, they're lost, they're alone. That is, peak breeding ground for someone who has the confidence, who wants to come in and lead and take advantage of people to be able to do that. So Neil Druckmann choosing to do that in game 1 and in game 2 with the Seraphites, right? Makes a lot
Hmm.
of sense, and seeing that as a component of this world, I think is a great addition, and I want nothing but more time with them. I want nothing but
Hmm.
more figuring out the ins and outs of how this whole thing works.
Yes, absolutely. And the way they come into each other, meeting into each other, was the fact that she, I believe in the show, I don't know if they changed as much, but she put an arrow in the deer, or she was chasing the deer and then heard a gunshot. And that's how she ran into them, because they didn't shoot the deer in the game. He had just passed out
I don't
and
recall.
died.
I think, well, she shot the deer in the game.
Yeah, yeah, for sure shot the deer a couple times, you have to.
Hmm.
And then it just bleeds out, and then you run into them because they're like, "Oh my god, a bloody deer. We can use this to feed our family and children." And I love that Ellie is immediately not trusting these people,
Hmm.
because she's learning. learning from this world with Joel. Um, and they full on, she's like, yep, women and children very hungry too, like immediately just lying, can't let them know that she's basically alone with an injured father figure. And you know, David is seemingly trusting and is like, we will give you, he's like, what do you need? We'll give you anything if you give us this deer. And she
Right.
goes, she's like making a deal, I want half of the deer, give me some medicine. You don't get half the deer in the game at all. She's just like, medicine, like it's immediate desperation. I think that's what made David realize, I know who this is.
Hmm.
um i I believe in the show they decided to not have you fight with him. Ellie did not fight with David in the show. There was no infected for them to fight. They were frozen. They don't move in the cold if it's too cold. That's what David was saying.
Right.
Um, and then they just have their conversation. He realized who she is. She's like, "Oh, you know who I am. I'm going to shoot you." Same scene for scene, word for word. James lower the gun, but she's the one who killed blah blah blah. They end up. She tries to go back to Joel. It's all exactly the same in the game
Hmm.
and the show. They shoot the horse, R.I.P. Callus, um, and they capture her. Same thing. The scene where they're cutting up a person, exactly the same. How she breaks David's finger. However, in that scene where she does break David's finger, he tells her who he used to be. He used to be a teacher. He wasn't religious before. And it's kind of hinted in that conversation. He said he was a disturbed man as a teacher. And obviously, when
Yeah,
you're
he's a
hearing that,
diddler.
yep, he is a pedo. Um, and he is hinting to Ellie, I see myself in you. We could do this together. We
Come be
can
my
build this.
queen, essentially, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
literally, come rule this town with me.
Hmm.
And she tricks him, breaks his finger, and she goes, my name's Ellie, the girl that broke your fucking finger. And he goes, how'd you state it? Little tiny pieces. Um, Flash forward scene again. They put Ellie on the table, about to cut her up, shows her bite. She, I believe, bit him when they were putting her on the table. And she goes,
Hmm.
you're fucking infected now. And he's
I
like,
know, genius, so
yeah.
smart. Imagine that.
And then,
Ellie smart again.
oh, acting in fucking in the spot. James is
Yeah,
like, what the fuck is
on the
that?
spot, has a whole plan, executes that plan, and does it seamlessly.
Alone.
I guess there was no maps involved, so maybe that's where we're messing up. There's no maps in this plan, so that's probably her only weak
Mm,
point. But
yeah. Absolutely. But yeah, so, James gets killed the same way. You got to run away from David. And then we get the infamous scene of, it was a diner, I believe,
Mhm.
that everything, you stab David 3 times in the game. He pins you down.
Dude,
However,
I
in
was so
the,
stuck in that. Every time I've played that game, I've been so stuck on trying to chase David down, trying to find David, moving around the freaking, or no, hiding from David and
yeah,
trying
that's
to
just
move
hard.
around to position it. It's such
Yeah.
a hard part of the game. I get so stuck
Doing
there.
it on
Just for him
grounded
to
was a
burn to
bitch.
death. Dude, we were doing it together.
I think it took us both 2 hours to get through that.
Oh, it took so long. I mean, I remember that playing as Ellie when we were in gosh, we were playing as Ellie. Uh we were in that room and there were zombies coming up the hall. It was like an elevator shaft or something like
Oh
that.
my
Dude, you
God.
passed it in like a half hour. I was stuck for like 2 days. I was like, I
You
can't
were. I
do
remember
this.
that. I remember
That
that.
was the
It
worst
did.
part of the game for me.
Oh, it took me a little longer than a half hour. I do appreciate it. Thank you. But I do have some clips recorded that I was like headshotting
Yeah, it was
clickers and
badass. Dude,
shit
we
with my
gotta
arrow.
watch our clips again
We
from
do. We really
Grounded, because
do.
that was peak. We were so good at the game.
Yeah. We were really good. I actually am gonna play a Grounded Plus on the part one on the remake.
No
So I'm gonna be
shit.
possibly doing that today. I was thinking about it.
Hell yeah,
Yeah,
we never finished Grounded Part 2.
we did not. We need to.
Oh, we gotta do that
Uh,
eventually.
I'm
We
not
got pretty
ready,
far
man.
though. I don't know how far we
I
got, but we
think
got pretty
we're
far.
I think we're on the Rat King or right after. I think we
I
got
think
pretty
we're on
far.
Rat King. I think we're at Rat
Yeah,
King. That sounds about
yeah,
right.
yeah. But back to David. In the game, it's only hinted that he's a bit of a pedophile with the conversation he has with Ellie in the cage, and then when he's like, "You could try begging," but you get the hint, but it is really not shown. They decide
It
to
is
go all the
leaned
fuck
in
out.
on. Right.
Yeah, they decide to not give a fuck at all and just like, hey, I was a pedophile, I was a disturbed man, and the way when he's pinning her down, he's trying to unbuckle himself. I think that's disgusting as fuck, and I'm glad that they put it in because apparently TV watchers are not as smart as game players. um, again, this is an ongoing theme. Ellie's so smart, and TV watchers are dumb. Just gotta. There's a reason we're saying that. We can't really fully
Foreshadowing
state
is
it.
what that's called in the
Foreshadowing.
biz.
Exactly. And yeah, and when she kills him in the game, you play as Joel to try and find Ellie, and then she's finally killing him, and he stops her mid hitting him like 20 times in the head with the machete. She's in full on fear. I think in that exact moment, that is when all her innocence is gone. I think there was some in the birthday episode later on, but that Ellie that we loved and grew to knew is gone. There is a hardened Ellie from there
I
on
think you
out.
see it slowly changing over time. Like I think that Sam um and Henry last made a lasting impact, but I do think that that's and then the fear with Joel coming in, with Joel being impaled and all of that. But I do think that this was the final thing that brings
Yeah,
her over the edge of that.
the straw that broke the camel back. That
Hmm.
broke the camel's back. Um, in the show, they decided to have Ellie go through that alone, and then come outside, and
Which
that's when
makes
Joel.
more sense, I think.
I don't, only because of his drive to find her. He would do anything to get his eyes back on her again. And
Right.
he saw a burning building. He's like, of course Ellie's in there. Uh, and he goes in there to try and save her because the burning building, he's like, we got to get the fuck out of here. I really enjoyed the scene with it cutting all sound and you only hear the music, and he's holding her face and he's like, you're assuming they're saying we got to go, we got to go. They decided to do that in the show. I enjoyed that. Um, and him calling her baby girl for the first time is when your heart just shatters. You're
Ugh.
like, oh.
That's when and in the same way we're talking about Ellie losing all of her innocence, that's when Joel gets pushed over the edge to realize that that's his daughter, as that's
Yeah.
how he's seeing her, that this
Hmm.
is not just a job anymore, and he admits it to himself, I think, at that
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is a really sad scene. But it fast forwards again to the last 30 minutes of the game, depending on how fast you play it. They're going through Salt Lake City, and um, they try to find the fireflies. I would say they did change this quite a bit in the show. They just kind of needed to wrap it up.
Well, I think
In the
didn't they
game,
start out with one of our favorite scenes ever in this episode, the last episode?
uh, no, they had the same thing. So basically it was Ellie standing in front of the bus thinking about flying. She had the same dream. They talked about that walking over to the giraffes. Um, they did do that.
When was the birth scene?
What birth scene?
Ellie's?
Oh, it was in the beginning. Oh shit, thank you.
That's what I
It was
thought.
in
That's
the
why I was like, wait a second. I feel like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like this is
Thank
where
you.
this comes in.
Yeah, so are we gonna pull it up? Are we gonna
Yeah, I have it
do
ready to
that?
go.
For sure. All right, yeah. So they decide to change it up and give a little something more to the fans. Apparently this was somewhat written in a comic book. If I'm not wrong, they did have a Ellie Mom comic. I believe it is very hard to find now.
Oh, I'm
Um,
sure.
yeah, Neil Druckmann decided to add it because he did have a story for Ellie's mom. I forgot her
Mhm.
name. I'm fake for that. But yeah,
I
she
don't know her name.
she was, everyone always wondered Ellie's mom, Ellie's dad, Ellie's mom, Ellie's dad, but we never had that answer. We never knew why she was immune. And they decided to give us that answer in the show. And I think that is peak
And
season
I
one.
mean, I've peak season one, but also just the beauty in everything with it. Ashley Johnson is the voice of Ellie in the game. Ashley
Yes.
Johnson plays Ellie's mom in the show. And Ashley Johnson at the end of this, but in the behind the scenes, she talks about how it is poetic, how she loves this character so much, and now it's time to give this character to Bella Ramsey, give this character to the next generation, and she
Uh,
is the mom of Ellie. You know, she plays
uh,
Ellie, but she is the mom of Ellie. She's the one who came up with, the voice, how she acted it. She made Ellie who she is, and then she gave that along, and Neil Druckmann gave her this scene, this story, and there's just nothing like it. It is poetic, it's beautiful, and when we were watching it, and the first thing you hear, I believe, if I'm remembering right, the first thing you hear is her screaming. I'm like, that's Ellie, you
Ashley.
know? It's
Yeah.
actually, but I'm like, that's Ellie's scream. Like I've heard
Yeah.
that, throughout the
Yes.
entire scene with her. I can just hear it, and it was so familiar and it was so comfortable. It had kind of that um n- nostalgic kind of, because I've played the games for so long. You're watching the show. It connected those two in a different way.
Hmm.
I think it worked perfectly.
Absolutely.
Let's watch it.
Uh,
Oh man, it didn't show the. Oh,
the after part. Is that it right there?
yeah. Ah, fucking. Oh, dude, that got me. I'm not gonna lie, that got me a little bit.
Bro, it's
Ah,
so fucking emotional. And
it's so
I
good, dude.
I wish I
Give
had
him
more
hell, Ellie.
time.
Oh,
Yeah, you tell him. You give him hell.
tell him,
I
dude.
wish I had more time when I met Ashley Johnson just to praise her more. Her fucking
Incredible,
acting. Her
incredible.
fucking
It's just,
acting. Oh,
oh, so good, so good, so
yes.
powerful, so emotional, so beautiful. Like the fact that The Last of Us Part One exists, uh, the season one, let's say the fact that The Last of Us season one exists in the way that it does, almost makes season two worth it. Like if if it was not have the show at all or have it exactly as is, I still probably would go with having the show exist, because
Yeah.
scenes like this, Bill and Frank, like just so much of it, I just seeing stuff like this come out in real time is just without words. Like you can't put words to it. It's so powerful.
Mhm. I agree 100%. And this makes the killing of Marlene in the last 5 minutes of the game a lot more painful.
A lot more
Um,
powerful.
a lot more powerful because it's not even mentioned how long she knew the mom. Like, and telling Joel, when he finds out, he's like, it grows all over the brain, and she's like, it does. She goes, you can't imagine how hard this is for me. And it's her last connection to her best friend that she knew for her entire life since before the apocalypse.
I know. I
And
know.
that it that adds that fucking extra layer of pain. And like, gotta give him a clap, like a round of applause for doing that, for giving us the fucking story how many years later? I
Yep.
think it was like 10 years later that they decided to finally tell the fans how Ellie was immune, and it makes a lot of sense. As I was watching that, I was like, maybe that's their answer. All the moms that are ready to die get fucking bit, and the next generation be immune.
No, that is the answer. It was through the umbilical cord
Yeah,
that the
100%.
antibodies were given, but it didn't, she wasn't bitten. And I
Hmm.
also think that there's some aspect of her, well, I don't know. I think it's just the timing of it all, but yeah, there's something about it that's what ended up
And the only one who actually knows that was Marlene. Um, I think trying to make a vaccine after that was not needed, you know?
I mean, you think she put uh two and two together?
I think so. Towards the end, I think when she saw Ellie and knew who she was immediately in the beginning, like, oh, you're immune because my best friend got bit before she cut the umbilical cord. Like, I think Marlene's
Why
smart
send her to the Fireflies and go and do all this?
because you're not. Why force a bunch of mothers to get pregnant and then bit and then killed?
But if the vaccine isn't going to work anyway, because it's not about her being immune, it's about the situation of when she was born. I don't think that
Hmm.
she would have done all that.
Yeah, I agree. They did say that the cordyceps were in Ellie's brain, but it's why she was immune because it was already there. So that was like the answer.
Right,
So I
but
don't
there
understand.
wasn't enough.
It still doesn't make
To be
sense.
fair, it seems like it worked like a vaccine, where a vaccine, it's a, dormant version of the virus that you're able
Hmm.
to inject. Therefore, you
Hmm.
already have it, so you build your immunity to it. So it makes sense that, it works like a vaccine, but I don't think that taking that out would be the dormant version, extracting the cordyceps that aren't spread. Maybe that's how they would do it. I don't know, but I just think that I don't think it's realistic that Marlene knew, put two and two together, and then went to
Ki-
send her to become the vaccine.
Yeah, yeah,
Because if she knew, she wouldn't
and
do that. Because if she knew, it would have just been a one and done, and it wouldn't
that's true.
be repeatable.
I think she was trying to do the. She went through the science side of it for the guy that was making the vaccine, the doctor. Um, and I don't believe so. The way they were like the only man that could is already dead. I think there is another person out there that could. I don't think Ellie's the only one that's immune. I think this is a type of situation that can happen. Not a lot, obviously. I think a mom that gets bit is immediately going to kill the kid and then herself. But it is a special case. But I don't think Ellie's the
Or,
only
well, I think what
one.
happens more often is probably um, that the mom turns and then ends up
And eats
killing the
the
baby.
baby. Yeah. I feel like there's probably at least one more person out there, but we don't know if they're
Yeah, I just
making
think
it.
the situation in which, you get bit, but then you like the timing of everything. You're born, someone takes your baby away before you get the chance to turn. I
Hmm.
don't think that that's very common. I think it could. There are scenarios in which it could happen, right? Like even if it's
Yeah,
a couple, right? But while she's
yeah,
giving birth, that she gets bit, he's the one who uh kills them and then takes the baby away, and I think it could happen. I don't think it'd be very common though.
no, no,
And I don't think that you would really know about it, because the only way you would know about it is if you get bit. And if you get bit, most of the time you kill yourself. So like, there could be people that are immune that don't know.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, exactly. Because they don't want to turn into one of those things, as what Tess said.
Right.
Yeah.
But here we are. We're at the end of the game. We're at the end of the show, season 1.
Hmm.
Um, you know, you finally travel all this way. You're at the Fireflies. Well, you get knocked out, but still, you're there. Um, and let's see, in the game, um, Joel wakes up, Marlene's there and talks to
Hmm.
him about
Hmm.
what's going on, and that, you know, he's free to leave at this point. Um, and it was a very interesting scene um, in the game. I think more powerful in the show because we know more.
Yeah.
Um, and then Joel does not take too kindly to that. Goes through, kills
Mm.
everybody, and
You visibly see in the show Pedro Pascal's, range. You visibly see him turn off. He's like, I have to get her. I have to kill all these people, or I have to get her, even if that means I have to kill the rest of the Fireflies. He switched in his
it
face and
was it was
everything.
such a it was a not again. You know,
Nope. Not
he was
again.
like, we're not doing this again. I'll
Exactly.
do
And
anything, and that's when we
mm,
see desperation in him.
And the way that in the game it's way more action packed versus in the show they decide to play a sad uh violin basically.
Hmm.
Just he's going and going through this pain and killing all these people just to
But
not
the
go through
killing
that
of
again.
the people doesn't matter. He's numb to it. That's why it's just this song, because he just feels the sadness, the pain he would feel with Ellie being gone. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how
It
many people
doesn't.
he kills. Doesn't matter the lives that he impacts, which obviously is what they use to carry on the plot. But
Yep.
it's very
Yep.
well done.
And the
And
killing
that
of Marlene.
obviously leads to the killing of Marlene, exactly, when he finally gets her, kills the doctor, and then picks Ellie up and gets her. And I think that that's where we should watch first with the game.
All right.
Hey, come on, stop!
You think he's feeling any regret here?
That's a great question. Oh, do I think he's feeling any regret here? I think that he is feeling a sense of relief. He's hopeful that he actually saved her. Regret, I think, is a tough word. I think if there's anything he regrets, it's that he couldn't do this the first time with Sarah. I don't think he's
Oh,
thinking about regret for killing the people yet. I think he's feeling relief and that he might finally have his redemption.
all right.
You can't save her. Even if you get her out of here, then what? How long before she's torn to pieces by a pack of clickers? That is, if she hasn't been raped and murdered first.
It ain't for you to decide.
It's what she'd want. And you know it. Look. You can still do the right thing here. She won't feel anything.
What the hell am I wearing?
Just take it easy. Drugs are still wearing off.
What happened?
We found the fireflies. Turns out there's a whole lot more like you, Ellie. People that are immune. There's dozens, actually. Ain't done 'em a damn bit of good, neither. They've actually... They've stopped looking for a cure.
I got a little note that I just realized.
Mm-hmm.
He shot Marlene in the stomach. It's exactly where Sarah was shot. Oof. I just saw that right then.
Oof.
I was like, damn.
Oh man.
Oof. All right.
I'm taking us home. I'm sorry.
Wait! Let me go. Please.
You just come after her.
Crazy.
Mm.
Crazy. He's gone. He's gone. He does not care. There's no regret from him. His is a choice.
It is. The world took away from him, so he took away from the world.
Yep. He's like, you just come after her. I'm not risking anything for that to happen
Mhm.
again. It's the motivation of redemption for himself
Mhm.
and his
And
daughter. And
yep,
this was his
exactly.
opportunity to do it right.
Yeah. Man, it definitely leaves you speechless. I'll never forget watching people react to this,
I know.
game or show, and they are like, "What the fuck is wrong with this story? Why is everyone
It's
dying?"
crazy. I know
Like,
everyone dies. It's perfect for HBO. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's perfect for the HBO platform. We should need better writers.
yeah, seriously.
But all right, let's take a look at how the show was different. And well, and oh boy.
It's so
Um
heavy.
it's so heavy. I think that in the
It's
show
not a good
version,
ending.
it's
Like,
not a good ending at all. No. But it's kind of beautiful. Just because like it's like oh, it's it it's the end of an arc. You can see where the arc goes, right? You get this payoff of he does see her as uh like he sees himself as a father.
mhm.
Fucked up father, but a father. And
Exactly.
I think it's interesting comparing the two side by side. I think that what I'm getting from Ellie when she talks to Joel in the car and she rolls over, I think that she's sad that it didn't work. But I think
Mhm.
that in that moment she believes him. I think Bella Ramsey's version because she asks more questions, right?
Mhm.
She asks, "Where are my clothes?" He says, "Raiders." I think her saying, "Did anyone get hurt?" And there was a pause before she asked that. I think she knew.
I think
She had
so.
a feeling. I think that she knew before Game Ellie knew, like
Mhm.
in her gut, you know.
Mhm.
Um, and she turns around, I think, with a more complex feeling than Game Ellie does. Game Ellie turns around and she's sad,
Okay. Special
you
guest.
know.
This is
Game
Sam.
Ellie turns around and is sad, and Show Ellie turns around and is like trying to process that what she thinks just happened. I don't think she believes him at all.
Yeah. Especially towards the last scene. At that point, both Ellies know he's lying to me, but she's
Yeah.
choosing to be okay with it because what else can you do?
What
This
else
is
are you
where
gonna
we're
do at
at.
that point? Right. I think it took longer for Game Ellie to put the pieces together to ask the question.
Mhm.
But wonderful show, wonderful game. I know in the beginning we talked that we were gonna do both the first and second season and first and second game. I think that was a little ambitious, let's say. Um, so definitely gonna be splitting this up into part one and part two. I don't know which comes first next, if we're going to go back to Arcane from our last episode, or if we're going to roll right into it with The Last of Us Part 2. I have finished watching Arcane Season 2 at this point, um, so we'll have to decide which one we want to do, hopefully next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Either way, we're ready for both. I mean, we have the notes for both. I think maybe because of how we feel with season 2, it might not be as long as this episode. Um,
Which
season
one, for The
2,
Last of Us or for Arcane?
The Last of Us.
The Last of Us has like 5 more clips that we're going to be bringing up, and I think that we can rant a lot.
Yeah, I think a lot of that's just going to be ranting more than praising. We'll be praising the game for sure. We'll be praising, um, you know, specific death scenes. One in particular, uh, and the kind of the rest was downhill. I think there's 2 episodes that are worth watching in
I think
season
there's
2,
one
and
episode worth watching.
Oh, yeah. He had to
But
show himself a little bit before we
yeah,
left.
hi Sam boy, Sammy boy. Should I get my son? We'll show
Yeah,
sons. All right, let me
yeah.
grab my son real quick. You're gonna make a special guest appearance, baby. Oh, come here.
There he
This is
is. Look at
Wally.
Sam. You see the boy?
This is
Yeah,
Wally.
that's the boy you like to play with. They like playing
He
laser together.
he was sleeping, so he's a big
Oh,
sleepy boy.
so is this one. That's why he wanted cuddles.
He's
So
like, Mom,
cute.
why'd you wake me up? I was all sleepy on a blankie.
I do want to say a little fun fact. So my kitty, this is my son, but not I didn't birth him. Um, this is my girlfriend's baby boy. She had him before we even knew each other. Named him Sam, all that stuff. I named Ellie because of Ellie from The Last of Us. Sierra, I don't know if she wants me to say her name. My girlfriend named him just because Sam's a funny name for this little boy right here. It was going to be Cigarette, which she missed out on. And then we met, and I was like, "What's your cat's name, Sam?" And I was like, "Sam, Ellie. Oh my God, Sam and
Yeah, that's
Ellie from The
cute.
Last of Us. What are the chances? It was meant to
It's
be."
so cute. And Wally
You
is not
see him
connected to the show. Wally is,
whatsoever.
well, no, Wally was named a couple years ago.
Yeah, he sees him. He Sam is an
Yeah,
iPad baby, so
Sam's keeping an eye out. Wally's still just tired and like, how long do I have to be up here, Mom?
aw. Okay, are you good? All right.
All right, well, that
Well,
was a little show and tell of our children at the end of the Last of Us podcast. For anyone who stayed listening to this long podcast, but I definitely had fun. It's good to
absolutely.
always good to talk about The Last of Us. Can never get enough. And we have a hell of an episode when we decide to do part two. So
Yeah. So stay tuned, please.
stay tuned. Stay tuned.
We think you'll agree with a lot of what we have to say. So,
We do, and hopefully that's next week. Schedule's a little up in the air as life happens, but we're here. We're gonna keep making episodes. So
exactly. We got a lot coming, and there's some watching that she has to do. Just a little trailer drop here. Some Attack on Titan mentions will happen. Eventually, we will be having episodes and talking about the morality of Attack on Titan. No spoilers, please, as she has never seen anything about it. Maybe the first 10 episodes of season one, but that has nothing to do with the rest of the story. So, just wanted to tidbit that. We don't know when we're going to get to that. It's a long show, and she has to watch all of it. So,
we still have to finish Arcane, at least talking
yep,
about it. We got a lot of things on the docket, so there's
we do.
a lot of good stuff coming. Um, and just remember, until then, stay curiously.
Factual.
See y'all next time.